What is up? What's up? Spoiler talk tonight. Is everybody ready for this? Seriously. I mean, last night we had our after party after I done seen the film. Some of you seen the film yesterday, but y'all didn't want to be a part of the party because some of y'all aren't able to see it until today or maybe later this weekend. So yeah, I completely understand. I completely understand. And with me going live last night, I almost said that I wasn't gonna go live tonight. Like I had a really rough week. I was really tired the last couple days. This weather change is just really getting to me, and I just needed some rest. I needed that old man nap. I really did. I'm starting to feel my age this year. But you know what? I pulled through. I said, you know what, Destin? Mama didn't raise no bitch. Pull through this. Quit complaining and do it. It's Scream Week. It's our Friday night Scream Talk. Tonight is spoiler talk. So I'm really looking forward to this. Why is it so damn quiet? We need a little bit of setting the mood here. Is that cool? Y'all like the same? It's a little loud, right? Or y'all want like something like a little bit? I mean, we can change it up. We can just take it easy, take it slow. What kind of vibe are you in? I don't know. I feel like Scream 6 is like a roller coaster. It's like a theme park. That's the type of feel I got. I got so like it's like one of those movies. It's like if you're like in a certain mood, there's certain movies out there that like if you're in a certain mood or if you're like down for the day or something, that's like one of those movies to just pump you up, to get your heart racing. It's so awesome. It really is. I don't know. Let's see what else we got up in here. Nah, I'm not feeling any of these other ones. I might need to add some music. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm gonna work on some of these streams. I'm gonna add some stuff, some new images, some new videos, some new music. But we're gonna keep on keeping on. Joe Dirt style. You gotta keep on keeping on. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's get to the comments. Oh, we already got a super chat in the house. What in the hell? Damn. Just getting started. And it's from my brother from another mother. My very own good friend. I consider him family because we stay in contact all the time now. And he's just a really cool dude. And, I also say we need to encourage him because I remember months ago, him talking about starting this podcast, but calling it broadcast. Everyone needs to support him in this. And we got to get him going because I'm telling you, this dude's hilarious. This dude is a good soul, good spirit. And he livens up the chat. And he's honestly, with just him being in my life, talking all the time about stuff, like he's lightened up my life, not just the lives. But we have a $6 super chat from very own brother hashtag digital bouncer. Oh yeah. With a $6 super chat. Scream 6. Oh, with a $6 super chat. I see what you did there. Scream 6 super chat for $6 movie was awesome. Great thrills and kills, but motive was kind of vanilla. Reveal was kind of a wet noodle. Hashtag Nev and Scream 7. Brother, I'm right there with you. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're feeling. We haven't really got to discuss too much about this yet. I haven't really talked to too many people. I've been still kind of like processing this movie because I'm kind of conflicted about it. I'm kind of like, I don't know exactly where I feel about it because there's a lot of peaks and there's some things that I'm kind of like, oh, I can't believe they did that, or they should have done this. That's why I got to see it for a second time. I have to see this for a second time. I did a straight out of the theater reaction. I put a short out whenever I left the theater, but I have not given my full review, and I decided not to do that until I see it again tomorrow. I was like, no, there's no way. Like I could do a review right now, but it would be half baked. Like I don't want to half ass it. I have to know how I feel and what I'm thinking about the movie. That's why I'm taking today. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow, and then I'm going to put out my official review sometime tomorrow. So yeah, but I completely agree, Brock. Nev in Scream 7. I really thought, and this is a spoiler discussion, so if you do not want to be spoiled, I saw some people in the chat last night had no idea. They were like, please no spoilers. I'm like, it's on the fucking thumbnail. Like, how'd you get lost? I don't know, but I'm putting that out there right now. This is a spoiler discussion, so if you don't want to be spoiled, you might not want to be in here. But if you've seen the movie and you want to talk about it, this is the place to be right now. I really thought that they needed to be a little bit more ballsy in this movie. I felt like they were scared to kill off legacy characters. And even our core four, our new family, our new characters. And, some of them probably should have died. I don't see how they made it out of it. I know that, Dewey's been stabbed so many times throughout the films, but not that many times all at once. And not having two killers on you at once. I just felt like break my fucking heart like Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson did back in the day. Do it. Don't be scared to. And maybe they got a lot of backlash for killing Dewdrop in Scream 5. A lot of people, including myself, I miss him. As much as I hate to see him go, I felt like something like that needed to be done because it wasn't done in 4. They kind of played it safe in 4. They didn't kill any of the legacy characters off. I really would have chose Gale to be killed off before Dewey. And I don't want Nev killed off whatsoever. But yeah, I felt like that heart and soul from Dewey was missing from this movie. And so the same thing with Nev Campbell. And I was thinking, I'm going somewhere here with this. I know I'm like all over the place, but I'm just, that's how my brain works. Okay. Just deal with it. But I felt like, okay, in this one, Courtney Cox is executive producer on this film. She's in that role now. And she's always been the highest paid actor in these films. And I understand star power and everything, but Nev, she built this. This is her baby. She is our Laurie Strode of the Scream universe. Paramount has to pay her right. And I really thought if they did kill off Gale in this one, they had the balls to kill off Gale in this one, then that would have had more buying power to give Nev the price point that she wanted. And whatever it is, she deserves it. I mean, like, honestly, like, that's what I mean, if you had to choose to come back in 7, do you want Gale or do you want Nev back? I'm leaning towards Nev. But if Gale's on that payroll, I mean, they might have a higher budget because this movie's going to make bank this weekend. Scream's hot again. It's lit a fire. But who knows what their budget is for the actors? It's all divided. So I would much rather kill off Gale to get Nev back. That's how I feel. That's how I feel at this point. I wouldn't mind to see a Sam, Tara, Nev, and Kirby movie. That would be awesome. And Mindy and Chad, I think that would be cool. I'd be down with that. I wouldn't miss Gale. I know that's me, but I feel like she's overstayed her welcome. All right, that's my little rant. Gonna get back to the chat. Brock, thank you for that $6 super chat, brother. Completely agree. Want to know more thoughts on how you feel, man, because it feels like we're pretty spot on. You deserve a video. What you want to see, man? Or you just want me to surprise you? Like I said, I got to get new videos. But how did you feel coming out? Did it make you want to dance like this? Like Marty McFly's dad? All right. Yeah, man. Like, man, I completely agree with you. It's so many mixed emotions here. It's a wild ride. That's this. Thank you again, man. Super chats do go to the front of the line, but I try to give everybody their shine. But it might be a minute for me to get to you because this chat does get backed up. But I will get to you eventually. Hopefully, unless it gets too backed up, you might get skipped over. But those super chats do go to the front of the line. But I do want to say that, like, doesn't the Scream films and this franchise feel like the Fast and the Furious franchise? Like, what Fast and the Furious is doing with the action genre, I feel like Scream is that for the horror genre. You know, it might be ridiculous at times. It might be really kind of tongue in cheek and be like, oh, that wouldn't have happened, or how did that person survive, or how is that person coming back after all that? But it works. It really does work, and you might say it's very fan servicey, but I'm a fan, so service me. We're all fans. I mean, that's what built the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was all that fan service. I feel like Radio Silence is listening to fans, and that's one thing I feel like Scream 6 is. There's a lot of fan service in this. Like, there's even like subtle fan service. I'm like, wow, they're actually listening to us. Like, they might even, I mean, in the last movie, they had Dead Meat's channel in the damn movie. I don't know if I could have missed it. There could have been somebody else. There could have been another YouTuber or something in Scream 6, or they might have had Dead Meat again, but I can't recall. That's why I need to see it the second time. But see, like, that just goes to show that they are, like, paying attention to all these theories. Stu Mocker returning. We saw, I mean, they're still planting Easter eggs. Why are they toying with us? Brock Willis says, Scream 2022, the boyfriend was Ghostface. Scream 6, like Scream 2, parent of previous Ghostface. All this just proves that to follow Scream 3, Stu will be the Roman of Scream 7. That's what I'm thinking, man. Like, the way that Scream 6 mirrored Scream 2, how is Scream 7? Because it's already greenlit. Scream 7 is greenlit, and we are getting it. They are going to probably fast track it, especially after this. The rise of Jenna Ortega. They're already in talks to do a Beetlejuice 2 and have Michael Keaton and Jenna Ortega be in that. Everyone's trying to snatch up Jenna. I mean, look at what the Wednesday show on Netflix. She's been in so many great things, and there's even rumors that Disney has approached her. Do you think unless she's stuck under a contract with these films, which I don't think she is, I think it's one contract per film, it means she could say goodbye. They could write her out just like they did Sydney. So they need to fast track it. If they're smart, and they want to keep Jenna, they need to fast track this. Quick, fast, and in a hurrah. Brock also says, Scream 6, a great thrill ride, great act 1 and 2. I was underwhelmed by the reveal and motive, even by movie standards. Hard to believe there to be an entire fam of killers. Yeah, that we're gonna get into that, man. We are definitely gonna get into that finale. It's a little crazy, right? It's a little bit too much, you know, like, as much as, like, everyone's been talking about that they wanted a 3 killer reveal, and they wanted this cult of ghost. What the hell am I saying? Ghostface, the cult of Ghostface. We've been saying it for years, or for a year at least, since Scream 5 came out. And it looks like they're actually kind of giving it to us, you know, just a little bit. But that reveal is a little bit too on the nose. I wanted something else. Just a family of Ghostface was kind of like, you know, I'll accept it. I have decided to accept it, but I have my pros and cons with this film. But overall, it's definitely very much enjoyable, and a lot of people. There's a lot of positivity around this. So, yeah, I think it's more of a win than a loss. The ride getting to that finale was really good. Even some of the finale I did like. but some of the way it was directed, I didn't. Like, I didn't like how Sam and Detective Bailey fell off that balcony. I thought that looked cheap and it felt rushed. Even the part where Detective Bailey wakes up and she's already donned the costume, kind of like how Sydney did in Scream 1. And she's toying with him. I felt like that didn't go on long enough. I wanted to see more of that. It's like she just pops out and just kills him like crazy, but I just wanted to see more cat and mouse game there at the end. Let's see here. Scott Walker's in the house. How's it going today? I got lots of questions today. We'll put them in the chat. Let's go, brother. Brock, Scream 6. How did all these characters survive? Chad especially. I really like this movie, but 3 biggest cons for me was reveal, motive, and too many survivors. Yeah. I mean, I can accept the motive a little bit. I did want like that extra motive, In all the other Scream movies, when there was, besides Roman, there's 2 killers. There's almost like 2 different motives. There's like the main motive, and then there's like just the crazy person that just wanted to do it, Apparently all Richie's family was fucking nuts. But, I started thinking that, like, what if they tie it back in Scream 7, and if they brought Stu Macher in, what if Stu Macher, like, helped Richie make those little short films and stuff, and actually got him into films? Maybe Stu was his inspiration, like his what am I trying to say? Like, the person he looks up to. Yeah. So like Stu, maybe we find out Stu like took him under his wing, and they're the ones that started it. But that opening was really good. That was like one of the best openings of the franchise. So good. Brock also says, Des, like, hello, Sydney, it's an honor, was never said in Scream 2022, I think you're saying. I'm something different, was never said, Scream 6, or anything we hear Ghostface say in a trailer. Yeah, there was a lot that was not in the movie. We didn't hear that, you never met one like me, Gil. I'm something different. They took that out. They did take that out. There's a couple other things that was taken out. So yeah. But I mean, was it too different? No. There's a lot more. Ghostface was really aggressive in this. That, I think that was kind of cool. He would just walk into a crowd, a group of people, or even a bodega or whatever, and just start stabbing people. I liked that. And the way he stabs people. Like, it's really cool. It's like really aggressive. But even though it was really cool and kind of like really well shot, everything, the score, the sound design, everything felt like really epic, almost too epic. I kind of missed like that meanness, and I know a lot of people love this one over Scream 5. I'm still divided there. I don't know which one I like more, because I did like the whole how dark Ghostface was in Scream 5, just the way he killed people. It was just like no, we didn't get a lot of chase scenes or anything. It wasn't like a lot of excitement, but how like mean-natured it was. I liked that until that reveal, and one thing about this movie is like the tone of the trailers and the TV spots and everything that we got with this movie was really almost like slumber a little bit, like dark, like the tone of it. And there were moments of that in here, but this one was more just like really fun. It knew what it was. It knew exactly what it was. So yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I hope the main mastermind does hit. But I can say this, it is believable that these killers, the reveal of these killers, no matter what the motive is, the reveal of them is more believable, of them actually doing what they did and getting around how they did in this one, than believing that Amber in Scream 5 killed Dewey. You know, I could see Detective Bailey really doing all that in the bodega. You know, that's one thing that I did appreciate. Yep, yes, sir. Let's see. Oh yeah, man, I knew what you meant. Ghostface Stew 100. What's up, man? Thomas Hewitt's in the house. Thomas says, I came here from Eric Stream. Oh, yeah. Bearded? Yeah, man. Yeah, I sent him a little message a little while ago. Super Troopers meets Ghostface, or is that already Club Dread? Okay. What is that how you feel about Scream 6? I don't know, man. I don't know if I feel that way about it. Jinsaku says, what's up? What's up? What is up? Oh, dang. We got another super chat in the house. Wow. All right. Super chats do go to the front of the line. Sorry. But Brock Willis with a $5 super chat. Act 1 was a lap dance from a stripper. Act 2 was a motorboating a porn star. Act 3 was like having to sleep with your mother-in-law. Womp, womp, womp. What the fuck? I gotta... Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying there. Oh, yeah. Michelob, not a sponsor. I took like a little nap and I feel so much better now. I don't know if y'all were part of my stream last night, but I was so tired and I had a headache. Even watching Scream, I kind of had a headache. And that's why I want to watch it again. I'm just like, and then I had to watch it in 3D. So that just made my eyes hurt. And there wasn't even much 3D in it. Do not see this movie in 3D. There's not, unless you want to see the shotgun come out or the credits at the end with the dust particles and the lettering and stuff popping out at you. That's about it. This movie is not supposed to be 3D. Dude, yeah. Act 1 was awesome. Act 2, yeah, okay. It was still going, so you're thinking Act 3 was like, yeah. And Act 3 was also rushed a little bit. I felt like they could have done a little bit more of a cat and mouse thing, like a more Guess Who type scenario, like have everybody there. And they don't know who it is. And also, I thought that it would have been really cool to see maybe somebody that wasn't a part of the group, you know, not one of the friends. Detective Bailey was with them all the time. Like somebody that was just like, you know, in like amongst them at school or something. And also I wanted to see some school setting. Yeah, we got them like hanging out outside on a bench outside of Blackmore University and Mindy giving that whole spiel about franchises. But I wanted to see, like in Scream 2, you know, the film, you know, class study or whatever, like where they're talking back and forth and talking about sequels and stuff. I wanted to see something like that in this. And then, you know, Samara Weaving, who gets killed at the opening of the movie, was a professor there. So that would have been perfect. Wouldn't it be cool if they were going to class and they're like, hey, your teacher got murdered last night. And then they're like, oh, here's your substitute. And then this substitute is kind of a red herring, you know? And also knows a lot about movies and stuff. And that starts up this whole discussion. That I just wanted just a little bit more of that. There's some editing things in here that kind of like, okay, I'll buy it. I mean, it's a movie, right? And honestly, you got to say, Scream 6 brings you up from that Halloween Ends, right? Am I right or am I right? It's everything that we were hoping. Not everything, but it was enough. Brock, thank you for the $5 super chat. You get another video. That's how Brock makes me feel. That's how he makes me laugh every day when he's sending me messages. Super awesome guy. Like I said, everybody, let's inspire him to start that Brock cast. He's got a voice 4 podcast, and he needs to do it. What are you waiting for? Jennifer Love Hewitt style from I Know What You Do Last Summer, buddy. Thank you again, man. $5 super chat. All right. Going back to the top. Like you never stop. Wow. Yeah, I gotta get through this, right? I get on like these like spills. Like I'm just starting to just talk a lot, you know? And if we get a guest up in here tonight or anything, then it's really gonna get pretty lengthy. Thomas Hewitt says, Destination Station, didn't I call it with my theory? I told you what might happen, and it turns out I was completely right about it. Remind me. You're probably right, because a lot of our theories are right. Honestly, I said the first time that we were going to see Billy Loomis is in the reflection when she's at that glass, where she sees her dad's robe and knife. I called it. I think it was on my Screamathon, that I did last week. I can't remember. Or maybe I was on someone else's stream. But yeah, a lot of it did come out. Like a lot of our theories did play out the way we thought it would. And I'm actually, some people aren't happy the way Billy was utilized in this movie. I actually liked it better than it was in 5. They scaled it back. They didn't have him talking a whole lot. They had him talking like twice, and that was it. And it was very quick, you know. I'm really excited to see where they go with Scream 7. Wouldn't it be badass if Stu Macher is back and, you know, if you watch, you know, there's Easter eggs in Scream 5 and Scream 6 that did the real Stu Macher live and all this kind of stuff. Some people believe he's still alive, all this kind of stuff. It's fun, right? It gets the people going. But wouldn't it be cool if he's trying to, you know, like all these years, he never got the shine that Billy did for the Woodsboro murders. It was always Billy, Billy, Billy. Even at the beginning of Scream 5, when Jenna Ortega was talking to Ghostface on the phone, she forgot about Stu Macher. That's when he got angry. You know, he was like, who's the killer in the original stab? And she says, Billy Loomis. And I got you. And he's like, wrong, it's Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. And he twists on a dime. And they're just like doing these little Easter eggs here. So I really do think, wouldn't it be wild if Stu Macher does come back and he knows that this is Billy's daughter, and maybe he's trying to get her to give in. And it's almost like, we think like maybe she does at some moments, that she does, like she's playing with this dark side of her, and she's thinking about giving in, but then she decides to turn her back on him, and they start fighting. And if it's shot right, like I'm just thinking like the entryway of Stu Macher's house. And if you've been a part of my streams, I've probably said this a few times, but if they're going at it and they're stabbing each other, kind of like how Billy and Stu did in the original Scream, they were stabbing each other, and they're going and stabbing each other, and that camera's panning around while they're fighting, and in the mirror you see Billy like nodding or whatever, or maybe if it even makes it look like it's Billy versus Stu, you know, like almost fighting over this franchise or fighting over the fame of the stab films, you know, like that's the kind of thing I'm going here. And then like maybe Stu gets like the upper hand on Sam, and she's down on the ground, and then the police all pull up around Stu's house, and the lights are flickering and everything. The police lights are going on, and then she's like, "It's over, Stu. Just give in," you know. And he's like, "No, it's just begun." And he actually opens the front door, and he throws down, and they're like, "Put down the knife." He throws down the knife. He gets on his knees. He gets apprehended. He's willing to get apprehended, and all these news cameras are coming in his face, you know, kind of like how Jill was in Scream 4, how she just wanted that fame. Well, now, and everyone's like, Stu Macher, the real Stu Macher is still alive, all this kind of stuff. Now he's about to get all this fame. He wanted to get caught, like Mickey. He's a sick fuck that wanted to get caught, you know? Billy was a sick fuck that wanted to get away with it. Stu is a sick fuck that wanted to get caught. And it actually works. And then that leads into like maybe Scream 8. You know, that's what I would do. Like if you wanted to keep this franchise going, introduce Stu near the end, but don't kill him, leave a cliffhanger, and everybody's going to want to see Scream 8. Like I said, this is like the Fast and the Furious franchise. This is almost like I feel like Scream 5 was like reigniting this franchise, kind of like how Fast 5 did for the Fast and the Furious franchise. Larry Warner's in the house. What's up, Larry? What's up, buddy? I already know you like the movie. Can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on it. My phone has been blowing up all damn day because of that chat. I'm not mad about it though. Let's see here. Is this CSI theme song? It had a little bit of SVU-esque there for a moment. Bearded Entertainment is in the house. What's up, Eric? Yo, what is up, dude? Check your Instagram, dude. I sent you a message. Let's see here. Brock Willis says, Larry, oh, y'all are talking shit. Let's see here. Zim's in the house. That's right, Destin. You aren't rich. Right. Destin played Blow the Whistle like from the movie. Blow the Whistle? Am I missing something? Dirt Diggler's in the house. Love the opening. I was hoping for it following that first killer throughout the movie, knowing there's another Ghostface or Ghostface is out to get him along with everyone else. Oh, okay. That would be kind of cool if he did survive. And like we already know he's a killer, but there's another killer out there. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I kind of like how it played out. I just, there were certain things like, where was the voice changer? Or that in Scream 5, remember it was like in like the hood of the costume, and he would push it and it'd be like, and then he could change his voice while he's talking. He's not just on the phone, we didn't see that in this one, but it had to have been there, because in that opening scene, he's like, no one gives a fuck about the movies, and he's not on the phone anymore. So I just want to see little details like that. Like, okay, I still want to see that, and I did want to see, like, instead of him just getting stabbed the way that he did, like, put up a little bit of a fight or a struggle or something, but him opening that fridge was sick. That was really freaking cool. Let's see here. Scott Walker says, sorry, I'm a bit away. I was listening to my music. Oh, no worries, dude. Do your thing. You do you, bro. Blucka. I love when he is describing the wife of Christopher Walken when his body is being carted out, and well, you know what happens. Yeah. Scott says, did you see any clues or evidence pointing to Stu being alive? I have to see it for a second time, but what I can say is that they're still toying with the idea with Kirby talking about it, Some people still think he's alive, They even like show the TV and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, there's like a lot of fan service out there. And you know what? The way that some people survive in this damn movie, you got to say that there's got to be a way that Stu's alive. Give the people what they want, even if it is like, oh, we almost see it coming. I don't want to see him revealed like halfway through. I want that to be the reveal at the very end, but I don't want it to just be Stu Macher. I want there to be like another killer or another two killers. Stu Macher is like the third coming out. So yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. Uncle Brock's always bringing the heat. Let's see here. Scott Walker, I cannot wait to see Scream 6 on Tuesday, and Trish cannot wait to see it. Oh man, you ain't even seen it. Yeah, dude. Like, sorry, this is a spoiler talk, dude. You have been warned, brother. Tasha Weber's in the house. Nev needs to come back. Abso-freaking-lutely, Tasha. I'm gonna call you Nev. Absolutely. Did anybody else feel the absence of Nev Campbell in this? I mean, I thought it was kind of cool that how they'd explain what she did. And no, why would she come here? You know, I think they need to get Nev Campbell and Mark Kincaid back. They need to get Nev Campbell and Patrick Dempsey from Scream 3. Since they're married and they have kids, they need to come back. Get both of them back. I completely agree, Tasha. And welcome to the stream, everybody. Everybody say hey to Tasha. That's a good friend of mine. So yeah, she's new to the YouTube chat. So welcome to the party, Tasha. Let's see here. Scott Walker says, have you heard anything about Nev Campbell being interested in returning for Scream 7? If the price is right, yeah. I think that she has talked about it. They're gonna have to pay her right. You know, she's not. Her Sydney and the ghost face has built this franchise. Okay, like I said, she's the Jamie Lee Curtis of this. So if there was a time when Jamie Lee Curtis would not come back for these movies, she probably thought she was too big. She probably wanted to do other projects. The money probably really was a big issue because a lot of times in these horror movies, you're not getting paid a whole lot. You know, you're not getting Will Smith money. You're not getting Leonardo DiCaprio money. You're not getting Denzel money. You're you know, lucky to probably get $1 million, honestly. So yeah. I mean, look at some of the characters in the Avengers movies. Some of them didn't even make $1 million. Some of the main Avengers in some of those movies, besides Robert Downey Jr. And see, they had to kill him off to keep the franchise going because he was too damn expensive. I'm just kidding. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame. Damn. Feel like an asshole. Scott, how do you fix Sydney will react to find out what Gail did to Sam and Tara because she wrote a book, What Happened in 2022, because she broke a promise. Yeah, that's one thing that I called that too. I said we may not like Gail in this movie, and we didn't for the first part. She was back to her old Gail ways. And I thought that was really cool how Sam goes to swing at her and Gail misses, and then Tara sticks her. You know, I thought that was really cool. But it's like it almost humbled her a little bit, but I still think that it was time for her to go. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Sydney is going to be happy with her. That might be one reason why she didn't come back, is because she's like, I can't believe you did this. You know, you said you weren't going to do this. So yeah, I mean, you got to remember, Sydney's a writer too, from Scream 4. And it was almost like Sydney was getting that fame for those book sales, and Gail was having writer's block. So wouldn't it be cool if like Gail actually does get killed because she actually reignited this a little bit, and Sydney is actually the one that writes about the sheriff, a sheriff in a small town, and writes about Dewey because Gail never did it. Wouldn't that be a cool way to go about it, you know? And wouldn't that be cool if, like, you know, like, obviously Sydney and Gail are on good terms from Scream 5 and everything, but what if they go back on bad terms, like in Scream 1 and Scream 2 for the most part? I kind of like that. I kind of want that to happen now that I'm thinking about it. Good question. We got another super chat in the house. Super chats go to the front of the line, like I said. And it's from my very own good friend, Valerie, the General. Hashtag Digital Bouncer. The Digital Bouncer. Kicking trolls' asses one stream at a time. Oh, yeah. Show some respect for the General. $10 super chat. Added the new rules, but they still stayed with the old sequel rules. Body count bigger, death scenes more blood, gore. Never assume the killer is dead, aka Stu, maybe? Yeah, Val, I agree. I agree with that. I wasn't the biggest fan of these new rules. I don't feel like they really followed them as far as what Mindy was saying. But with the Old sequel rules, body count bigger, death scenes much more blood and gore. Never assume the killer is dead. Yeah, we're going back, you know. And how do you think Scream 7 is going to mirror Scream 3 the way Scream 6 mirrored Scream 2? How do you think Scream 7 is going to mirror Scream 3? Are we going to go back to Hollywood and be on the stab set? Are we going to... I would think that our core 4, our new family and everything, once shit pops off, like the opening kill of Scream 7, I could see them being like, nah. And they're like, hey, don't you want to, like a lot of like different, people are coming after them and like questioning them, and people are still looking down on Sam and still thinking she's a killer. And I could see like Chad or somebody saying, no, we're going to get the fuck out of Dodge. And they go on vacation instead of staying in the States. Like they go to the Bahamas, or they go to somewhere tropical, or maybe they go to Paris or something like that. Wherever. Maybe a cruise ship. Scream on a cruise. Ooh, I like that. I've always wanted to see a zombie movie on a cruise, like a zombie outbreak on a cruise. I think that'd be really tense. Anyways, my point being, similar to I Still Know What We Did Last Summer, where they all went to the Bahamas. What if we get a Scream movie similar to that? Like when shit pops off, they're just like, nah, we're not gonna be a part of this. We're just gonna get out of here. And they go on vacation, but Ghostface follows them or is a part of their group or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe Stu's there. Maybe Stu's been watching them the entire time. What if they do like a twist like that? What was it? And I Still Know You Did Last Summer, where they won tickets. It's like 103.9. Yes. What is the capital of Brazil? And that's actually like Stu Macher, or maybe we hear like the Ghostface voice just slightly and we're like, ooh, yeah, that's Ghostface. This is a setup. I don't think it needs to be just like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I do think that movie doesn't get enough recognition. I do like that movie. And my acting coach back from Memphis, Tennessee, Red West, was the boat captain in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm getting way off fucking topic. See how my brain works? Valerie, thank you for that $10 super chat. Super awesome of you. I really, really appreciate that. And yes, bring Stu back. So Scream 5 and Scream 6, there's a lot of Stu clues. All right. Yeah, I said it. Stu clues. We need to make that a thing, a hashtag, instead of Blues Clues or something. But like, yeah, Stu is, I think it's a very missed opportunity. I mean, what better reveal can you really get to, other than Stu, at least being one of them? Yeah, you could bring in other motives and other reveals aside from Stu, but Stu being that main one. What if there was like killings going over all in different cities across the nation or across the world, And what if our core 4 is separated? They're all living in like different areas. My dog just barked. It kind of scared me. So yeah, I just want to know what y'all think. How do you think Scream 7 is going to mirror Scream 3, and what are we looking at here? Because you know what Scream 3 was, what Randy said in that video. It's all about going back to the past and revealing something that wasn't true, that is, or something like that. Something like that. So yeah, Stu is from the past. Let's connect the original to this franchise. More than just this Billy Loomis thing. Really curious to see where they're going with that. Val, thank you so much for this $10 super chat. Let's get you a video here. And here we go.
Why did you get to do that? Okay, Cooker, you need to... Is that a thong you're wearing?
What the fuck you say?
You have a thong on?
Yeah, I'm wearing a thong. I'll get a sleeping bag.
All right. I promise I'm going to get more videos. I promise. Thank you again, Val. Love it. And yes, I'm glad we all great minds think alike. And Valerie is the digital bouncer. Oh yeah. All right. Oh whoa, they just keep rolling in. Got another $5 super chat from Brock Willis. I feel like after Scream 3, Sid would have changed her identity. She would be Ingrid living in Switzerland. I wonder where she did go. Did they say exactly where she went? Working on a farm. Hashtag blow the whistle. Hashtag for Des. Hashtag for Wes. Hashtag for Des. Yeah, buddy. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Super awesome of you. Yeah, I wonder where Sid would be. Hey, wouldn't that... Whoa. Okay, I have to really think about this. But wouldn't that be weird? Wouldn't that be crazy if there was like some sort of setup with our core 4 that when shit pops off in wherever city, or if they're back in Woodsboro or whatever, and say something happens, like the opening kill, and they're like, oh, Ghostface is back. Nope, we're going to get out of here. And they win a trip or something like that, and they fly away or whatever, you know. And when they get there, like, you know, like we're going into the second act of the movie or something, just so happened this is the same place where Sydney is. So they realize this is a setup. Ghostface set us up to all be back together. That's something to think about. That would be something interesting to chew on there. I would like for them to do a little bit of that movie magic stuff like they did in Scream 3. Instead of being on a set in Hollywood, I would like them to be like, oh, that requel that Richie and Amber did want to make, and this is and Scream 6 is a sequel of the requel and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that actually worked, and they're making a new Stab movie, and it's a requel to the original Stab. All the other Stab movies sucked, remember? And they're doing a sequel to the original Stab, just like, you know, like they're doing in our, I was gonna say in our world. Yes, in real life, in reality. But the set of the new Stab movie is taking place in the town of Woodsboro, in the actual locations of where Casey Becker died, where Sydney's house is, where Stu Macher's house is, where all these the high school. And it's like they're filming in these locations, and they're like, oh, we actually got to be able to film a movie here. But then Ghostface comes back, and there's a lot of killings and stuff. I think that would be really cool to blend Scream 3 movie set stuff in with Woodsboro. I think it'd be really cool. And then Kilgale, and at the end of the movie, have Sam, Tara, and Sydney in a graveyard standing over the grave of Gail Weathers and Dewey Riley, like they're laying next to each other, and that be the last shot of the movie, and they walk away. Wouldn't that be poetic? Hell yeah. But yeah, who the hell knows where Sydney's going? I would think she would change her identity too. Like she would be somebody completely different now. You know? That would be cool. What would her new name be? What would Sydney Prescott's new name be? That's something. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. But you know what it makes me do? You know how it makes me feel? Like this.
Got it. Okay.
And this is the
Enough! Do you want my head to explode? In the name of all that is good and decent, no more for today!
Man, I miss Chris Farley. Hey, fun fact. You know, Chris Farley was supposed to be the voice of Shrek. Wouldn't that have been cool? Yeah. I miss Chris Farley movies. Let's see here. Oh, we got another, wow, super chat. Super chat. From the General with another $5 super chat. Wow. And 7, we're going back to something we believe true, but isn't. and the truth will come back to bite us in the ass. AKA believed Stu was dead and won. Maybe. I do like that. I really do. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, that would be really cool, right? I you know, like, wouldn't it be crazy? Like, a lot of people, y'all remember Gail Weathers in the first film planting that video camera? You know, I've been corrected on it recently that it wasn't like recording, it was just relaying the video. But, you know, still, it's still fun to think about. What if it was recording? And maybe after all these years, they got that footage. Gail Weathers might have it like in a box somewhere that she hasn't like reviewed in forever, and like reviews it, and you see, you know, the camera, once the, you know, everything gets wrecked in Stu Macher's house. I'm sure the camera fell somewhere or it's still sitting there, but wouldn't it be crazy if that's the way that Gail Weathers like discovers Stu is still alive, as she comes across that video digging through like old archive footage or something, and you see him just like flip the TV off, and he kind of gets up and he's all hurt and he's holding his stab wounds and stuff, and he's all like, you know, cut up from the shock and the glass from the TV, and he just kind of like walks out the back door or something, you know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Let me write a Scream movie, damn it. Put me in the writing room. I got some ideas here. I do want to put together like a whodunit Scream stream, you know, like a bunch of us YouTubers, and we all get together and we kind of like play out like a whodunit thing, and we get taken out one by one. You know, we have to like do movie trivia like from Ghostface, and if we get it wrong, we die. And it's up to the chat to figure out who done it. Who the fuck done it? Val, I really do like the way you're thinking. We're right there on track. I believe the same thing. But wouldn't y'all like it if they did do an actual, okay, how would you feel like whatever Radio Silence is doing with this here? How would you feel if they actually did do a requel to the Scream franchise? The Scream, not the Stab. And we went and did a direct sequel to the first Scream film. There was no Scream 2. There was no Scream 3, 4, 5, 6. And we go in a totally different direction than the Stab meta on top of meta. And then it could be like, what is it? How many years was that? Like, I don't know, like 25 years, whatever the hell it was. I can't count. Whatever. I didn't major in math. What movie is that from? Let me know in the comment section below. It's a pretty dark comedy. So yeah, like what if like all our characters, you could bring back everyone that was dead. You could bring back Randy, Jamie Kennedy. You could bring back Dewey. You could bring back Cotton Weary. You know, like, just, I think I would like to see something like that, you know? But yeah, anyways, something to think about. And Val, you get a video as well. Y'all gonna make me run out of videos tonight. But that's alright. We will keep this going. Are you ready for this?
It's my pleasure, but what a nice young man to offer. Let me give you a little pinch there. Come on.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh. You know, a lot of people are kind of intimidated about making a turkey, but really it's very simple. You just have to know the anatomy of a turkey, and it's got over here just the tiniest little stink hole, but it's big enough to get your hand right up inside it. Stuff the shit out of it. I cook it with all the giblets, the penises and the ginies. And now a lot of people like to baste their turkeys, but I use this. I lick like that and get into the little hiney hole. That's nice and good. I don't know what the hell that is, but I lick it anyway. Up and down. And then I like to stick that right on there. And I got one of these. Gonna pull that off and bam! That just kicks it up a little bit. All right, I think that's almost ready now. And then we bring it to the table. Good.
That always gets me. You know? Hiya, what the? One more time. All right. Val, thank you again for that. Thank you again for that $5 super chat. And I really do like that idea. Yes. Hashtag bring Stu back. Stu's clues for sure. But I really want to see. I want to see. I want to see. I mean, like, honestly, over the years, Scream 3 has grown on me a lot more. All these movies were like really ahead of its time. I've always been a big Scream fan. Halloween, a Nightmare on Elm Street, all this stuff. But Scream hit me at like 11 years old. Okay, I was like 11 and I snuck into that movie. And I was always sneaking into horror movies. My parents would always drop me off at the movie theater, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Jumanji or whatever the hell it's coming out. But hell no, I'm sneaking into Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I'm sneaking into Freddy's Dead. I remember seeing Freddy's Dead like at a very young age. Well, not really. Yeah, I did see it, but like I saw a piece of it. My family was in another movie, and I said I had to go to the restroom, and instead of going to the restroom, I ran into another theater, and I got to see a little bit of Freddy's Dead. And I was just a big Fred head all growing up. But when Scream came out, changed the game for me. It was a horror movie for horror fans. It was ahead of its time. Wes Craven's New Nightmare was ahead of its time. All that meta on top of meta was just like, people didn't really get it. People didn't understand it. You know, like it's and now it's like a perfect time. Like whodunits, murder mysteries, all that kind of stuff is like on the rise right now. It's all over, you know, social media, streaming platforms. You even go to murder mystery dinners and it's the big thing now. It's like the perfect time for Scream to get reignited. And I'm happy to be a Scream fan right now. I've been wanting this for years. We got another super chat in the house. Hold on. Super chat in the house from my very own brother, Brock Willis. That's like an action star name. Brock Willis. Also, I was about to say rest in peace, Bruce Willis. No, let's say it. Let's take some moment. And it's very sad for what's going on with Bruce Willis. Love that guy. He's one of my heroes growing up. Loved everything he's ever done, but he's been going through some trouble. But Brock, you might have to fill those roles, bro. Are you up for the task? Because we need somebody, okay? They just got rid of Stallone from the Creed movies. We lost we lost Bruce Willis. He's not healthy to where he can take on any more diehards. And I love Die Hard growing up. And the last fucking bunch of Terminators fucking sucked ass. So yeah, dude, make it happen, man. Make it happen. Des. I didn't even read his damn chat yet. Des, who of all the ghost faces, see, he even knows he's my brother. Only close people to me, like my family and stuff, call me Des. Yeah, that's how I know. I got somebody knocking at my door right now, but we're about to bring him on in just a momento. But let me get through this super chat real quick because my brother deserves this moment. Des, who of all the ghost faces was the biggest wet noodle? If you were the sole ghost face in Scream 7, what would you want your motive to be? Hashtag for Des. What would I want my motive to be? If I was the sole Ghostface. Okay, if I was Ghostface, and what would my motive be? Okay. Oh, I never thought about that. Damn, you're making me think a lot. Man, that is I think I would want my motive to be. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. That's too dark. I think I would want. I think I would be more on the lines of Mickey from Scream 2. I'm gonna blame the movies. Like, I really do think that that's something that I would go with. Like, I would want to be caught, like, for fame. But I would blame the movies. You know? Like, I would just make it this big thing. Like, but if I... Okay, but you're asking for Scream 7. Okay. All right, I'm thinking of, like, my personal own thing. But, like, for Scream 7, I would try to top the original stab. If I was the Ghostface in Scream 7, I would top the original stab. And where I would want to take it is taking it where I would make all the same kills in the same locations from the first original stab, like Casey Becker's house, and in order, you know, like, so if you've seen the original stab, you know where the next murder scene's gonna be, because I'm going in that order. And I would try to remake Stab, but make it better. That's what I would do instead of cheesy. That's my answer. That's my answer. You get one more video, and then we're gonna bring in our guest, and we should have somebody else knocking at the door here soon. I gotta see if he got it, if he got my message or not. But let's see, what can we do here? We might go with. I wish I did have a better answer than that. I hope that answered your question, buddy. But if not, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Boys, there's been a terrible mistake. Howie is going to say something to you, aren't you, Howie? I'm going to get you out of this as quickly as possible. Howie, now say, come on now, say your little piece.
I'm sorry I took the money.
That's it.
I'm sorry I took the money. I'm sorry! I'm
enough.
sorry!
That's enough, Howie. That's enough, dear.
I'm
That's
awfully
just fine.
sorry.
That's fine. Now, boys,
Sorry.
all the money is here. Come along, Howie.
Sorry.
And I just want to apologize to you
so
again,
sorry,
tell you
so
how I'm sorry I am
terribly
about the
sorry.
mistake. And
You're
if there's
sorry.
anything at all I can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask. Come along, Howie.
Sorry. I'm
It's time for your
sorry.
lobotomy.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry I took the money.
All right. That was a little lengthy. Some of these videos are a little lengthy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, horse shit. All right. Thank you, Brock, for that $5 super chat, buddy. But we got somebody knocking at the door. Good friend of the channel. And if you are not subscribed to this guy, what are you doing? Because this guy is the business. This guy knows his shit. His streams were fun. We had a glow-in-the-dark party the other night. And good friend of the channel. Good friend of mine. And I think I'm going to be able to hang out with him very soon at Texas Frightmare if he's coming. So we're going to bring him on right now. I shot him 6 times. Marcus, what's up, buddy?
What is going on, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm going digging the shirt, bro.
Thank you. And to answer your question, yes, I will be in Texas. I got my ticket and everything.
Hell to the
Yeah,
man.
the only thing is it's not VIP because they were already gone, but I don't even care. You know what I mean? I got my weekend pass. That's what matters.
Yeah. That dude, I didn't get VIP either. I got VIP last year just because somebody was nice enough to give them to me and my buddy
Nice.
Nick. So this year, yeah, I don't have any VIP, so just the weekend pass.
Yep. Hey,
So it's gonna
all
be
matters we're going.
yeah, it's getting better. The lineup's getting better. It's a bunch of people from Halloween and Evil Dead. It's gonna be cool.
Yes, it is.
Man, I am looking forward to this right now, man. Like, how many times have you seen the movie so far?
Twice.
Wow, already.
Yeah, I said it twice, and then like because there's sites and stuff out there that already have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Streaming sites. I went back in certain scenes that like really caught my attention in the film. Just for breakdown and purposes. Putting videos and theories and stuff together and all that. And man, I'll say this: I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed this movie. I really did. I thought it was really good. The pace was. It didn't feel like it was a 2-hour movie.
No, it didn't feel like a 2-hour
It didn't
movie
feel
at
like it
all.
was 2 hours at all. The pacing was perfect. It was fast paced. It was in your face. That's what I really liked about it. It was in your face. It was just like bow. And
Right.
man, wow, they did such a good job. They did what I didn't expect them to do, and that's why I really liked it.
Yeah, they definitely they did take some risks. I mean, it did feel like a Scream movie by the end, but that opening, man, was like
Yes,
I almost thought I said, "Whoa, this is so different." I
right,
feel like I for a moment I thought we were in a stab movie. I
right.
was like, "Are we in a stab movie like at the beginning of Scream 4 for a minute?" And but then like, no, we're not. This is real. And I it was so cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought with that opening, I thought what was going to be different is that okay, we know one of the killers revealed, and now we're going to follow them through the movie, and then the other ones are going to be revealed down the line and stuff. And then when we obviously get to the apartment, and then the phone call happens, I'm just like, oh, what is this? And then everything like ties in together so perfectly after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that would have been kind of cool. Like you're saying, like if the guy that was revealed at the beginning survived, and he was kind of like hanging out with the group or just amongst them at parties and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Right,
And you're already like, oh yeah, we already know that guy. That guy's not right.
right.
But yeah. But isn't it crazy that that image that came out online about that guy that was killed in the bathtub wasn't even him?
Right.
That's
Right.
crazy.
That is crazy. I remember when we got to that scene, I was just like, oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, yeah, good way to fool us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I did want to see Samara more in the movie, you know. I wanted to see Samara just a little bit more. She's so beautiful, man. And she's such a talented actress. It's really I like I mean, she's a perfect candidate, I guess you would say,
Right.
for that opening kill, you know. But I wanted her I would have loved her to be a part of like the core for like a
Right.
part of the group or something. You know, I think she would have been a badass killer too.
I think that is like the only thing I didn't like about the opening. I'm going to say didn't like, but I do wish that, her character would have got more run. I felt like they could have utilized her, especially with that Mackenzie Easter egg. I definitely thought that was going to have more of an
Tie-in.
impact in the movie.
Mhm.
Obviously, that was just more for promotional now that, we've seen the movie and stuff like that. So, I mean, we all kind of expected her to be, the opening scene kill. But I do agree. I do wish she would have got more run. And that was surprising that she was a professor because I thought
Yes.
that she was part of the Broadway musical. And that's another thing. We didn't even really get that.
We didn't get that.
We didn't. That's what I said. We didn't get that. Like,
I know.
I thought that was smooth though how they did that with the whole movie and the Broadway not being in it, and you hear them say, we heard the rights didn't get picked up or whatever, and then Gail says, "Oh, it's all about true crime and TV miniseries or whatever stuff." I thought that was really, really well done because we don't need a stab film. We don't need
Yeah.
nothing stab related again. Like, you know what I mean? We're trying to go in a different direction. So I thought they did a really good job with that.
Yeah. I did too. I just wanted just a little bit. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool that we actually saw Tara in the opening scene again.
I know.
Like, what's up with that? Like, that was like completely different. Like, I was like, hold on, we ain't even got a title card yet. What's going on here? So it was just the way the film was structured was completely different than I've really seen in any movie, really.
No, you're right. You make a really valid point. Like, this was real. When they said it was different, it definitely was different. Like, it may have not been different to the way people might have either hoped or expected, but that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? They did something surprising in so many ways that you didn't expect, and every facet, the pacing, you know, like you said, the way they put together that opening scene, you get to see one of our core four characters before the title card even opens. You know what I mean? It was really well done. It really was.
Yeah. I think so too, man. It was definitely. It almost felt. It opens up the possibility of this Ghostface cult just a little bit more. I mean, we're like tipping our toes into it, and it could be exploded in the next movie or two. You know, like they could just go balls to the wall. We might get 8 killers. You know, wouldn't it be crazy if like everybody's the killer?
Oh, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm so glad you brought this up, bro. I'm, and some people might disagree with me. There were more killers in this movie.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Explain away.
There was definitely more killers in this movie, and first and foremost, you know, because obviously after, you know, people got to see it, like I want to say some people probably even got to see it the 7th. It came out like early overseas or something. I know some people got to see like early screenings of it or whatever and stuff like that. And man, let me tell you, like, I just, from watching this movie twice, I genuinely feel like there's more killers. And the reason why I believe that is, again, I went back, you know, and broke down certain scenes. Those ghost faces, now again, you can make the argument that maybe the family was switching masks. You can make that argument. But I just don't feel like within that time frame of the final act, when they stab up Chad, they had enough time to do that. You know what I mean? And the Ghostface killers who stabbed up Chad, not only were their masks clean with no cracks, I zoomed it in and everything, but the height difference between these two ghost faces was different between the two height differences between the brother and the sister.
It did seem a little. That whole entire scene was like weirdly edited a little bit. I'm kind of like, and like, what's up with people like getting stabbed and just letting them stab them? Like like, I called him Jerry last night on the stream, but his name was Jason, and they actually referenced Jason Takes Manhattan. That was what was on TV, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I feel like that was an afterthought, like that, like maybe that screen on TV was just like a green screen, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, this is a perfect way to plug this in." But great, it perfect, and naming him Jason. But I kept calling him Jerry last night on my stream. I'm just like, he just looks like a fucking Jerry.
He kind of does. But the funny thing is too, is that, you know, after the movie came out, when people got to see it earlier, we got to see it the opening night on Thursday, is a lot of people who, you know, start talking about it spoiler wise, kept only talking about 3 killers. We have 4 killers in this movie. You know, Jason counts. He killed Laura
and his partner.
You know what I mean? See, did his partner kill anybody?
He could have before they did that. I mean, he was going to. He knew he was.
That's true. So when you break it down, we really have 5 killers. Yeah, because, you know, he had a partner. We have 5 killers in this movie, and what I took it as was they explored the cult thing. But what they did was, it was a cult that wasn't working together.
Right.
You know what I mean? The only 3 that was working together was the family.
Right.
The other ones, you know, they were their own entity. It kind of reminds me of Jake's fan film, you know, with what he did with that.
Red Right
You know
Hand.
what I mean? And stuff like that. That's what a lot of that reminded me of. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not buying that Kirby is a hero, bro. I'm not. That there was too many instances where she was suspicious.
There was.
And I find it very, very odd how they did not let us see her phone, whoever was calling her. Almost every other character, when they got a phone call, you saw who was calling them.
Yeah. Wouldn't it
Outside
be
of-
crazy? Dude. She even says some people think that he's still alive. What if she's working with Stu?
Bro. And did you catch? All right, so let me ask you this real quick, Destin. Do you really think it was Liana who was in Gail's house?
I don't picture her being the one doing that.
Right.
I did kind of like her as a ghost face though. Like
She wasn't bad.
I took her seriousness. It was Ethan that I was kind of like a little hamming it up a little bit, you know. He was just a little crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. See, and that's why I guess I didn't mind Ethan, because towards the end of it, I guess you can make the argument this is why he followed Matthew Lillard on Twitter. He kind of had that little bit in him, like that goofy, crazy, psycho, you know what I mean? Stuff like that line with Tara. I always wanted to stick something in you, Tara. It kind of reminded me of Stu. I always had a thing for you, Sid. Like that kind of reminded me of that. Like, I didn't mind Ethan. I do think it would have been nicer if it was somebody stronger.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. Do you think Dermot and all wore the costume at all at any point?
Yeah, I think he did the bodega scene.
Okay.
I do. Let me get to this $5 super chat real quick from our very own Brock Willis. It looks like it might be for you, buddy. Marcus, if you could write yourself as a character into Scream 7 as the sole Ghostface, what would you want your motive to be? P.S. Get my digits from this.
Okay. Well, that's a really good question. So let me reread that. Marcus, if you could write yourself as a character in a Scream 7 as the sole Ghostface, what would you want your motive to be? I think now, if I was to be the sole Ghostface, I think I would have to probably be Tara's father, if he's still alive. That's the character I'd want to play, because that character has so much. He has so many reasons to be a killer. You know what I mean? And I feel like even as simple as it may be, we don't know all the other secrets that Samantha has and the rest of this family has. So I would like to see that be explored. And that's what I would probably do, in all honesty, is be Mr. Carpenter. But I would have an alias, because you can't just, and probably somewhat of a change of appearance, because obviously, Tara's going to, even though she was 8 when he left, that's her pops, she's going to recognize him, you know what I mean? So right. I would have to change up my appearance a little bit, probably pull Mrs. Loomis, lose a couple pounds, and, just style it up and just be like, yeah, you know what I mean? But definitely I would like to see that explored, you know what I mean? So I would have to go with that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Marcus. I think we've talked about it several times throughout the past. Like, there's got to be something there, more secrets, And, right. Like even mentioning just on that whole backstory family dynamic that's going on there, they kind of touched on it here.
Yep.
That Christina Carpenter turned her back on Sam for breaking up the family. Mm-hmm. And then Tara turned her back on the mother. Well, what if the mother was with Billy at some point around the original Scream? What if she was helping Billy try to get at Sydney? Maybe she is a part of that, and maybe in the future we might see a mother-daughter fight. Maybe the mother will come back as a killer or something, I don't know how they would tie that in as a whodunit, but it would be kind of crazy. Just like, I don't know exactly where they would go with it,
right.
But it just seems like they're just causing it just seems like there's a lot of friction between the mother and them, and there's got to be more secrets there, just like with Sydney's family.
Right.
There's more secrets in their past.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if you caught it. So when Samantha was telling Gail about that, excuse me, about Christina turning her back on her for telling Tara about Billy, that was different from Scream 5. Because in Scream 5, they made it seem like basically when Samantha blew up in her face and caused Mr. Carpenter to leave, that's when the relationship between Christina and Samantha faltered, and basically Christina turned her back on Samantha. In here, they said when basically Samantha, which was in the last film, told Tara about Billy. So I found that quite interesting. So I don't know if I kind of felt like they're hinting at the fact that they're going to introduce this character in Scream 7. We're going to get some Christina Carpenter. I don't see, I mean, and then again, you can make the argument maybe they won't, because that's why it was so cut and dry. Oh, yeah, you know, she turned her back on me and then Tara turned her back on her, and then that's that. But I just feel like with so much backstory, that's just something you can't ignore. And that's like the premise of the trilogy. And that was the premise of the original trilogy. This massive backstory, stuff that we don't know about coming to the forefront. You know, so
Yeah.
I feel like if they were to not ever do that, they'd be missing a tremendous opportunity. And you can go both ways. You don't got to make Christina a killer, or you could make her a killer. You know, it just depends on, you know, how they would go about it. But I do think that's something that I would like to see them explore, you know, because there's just too much backstory. Them diaries, man. Like, I feel like there's so much more in them diaries that we don't know about.
Well, maybe she quit reading once she found that reveal, and there's more to be said. And what if that is like a plot point in the movie? Like, she finds the diary, but she never read it past that point, and it talks about how she helped Billy kill and all that kind of stuff. And the only way that I could see that really working, with her mother possibly being alongside Billy in the first one, or knowing about all of it, and maybe that's the weight on her and why she's an alcoholic or whatever, is if she's introduced early on in Scream 7.
Right.
Like, and maybe even Tara's dad coming back. Like, maybe both of them coming back in the picture, and they're like, hey, we're not even safe in New York, so we're just going to come back to Woodsboro, back home. And maybe the media is all over the place, and maybe the mom and dad have gotten back together, and this is just a weird, odd scenario for the girls, for Tara and Sam. Right. And maybe they're trying to rebuild this family dynamic or something. I could see them like maybe going that way with Sam and Tara, and that's the only way I could see. Like, it can't just be like, because we haven't been introduced to Christina Carpenter, we don't even know what she looks like.
Right.
So she would definitely have to be introduced like early on in the next film, you know, if she's going to be a killer, you know. So,
bro, again, and I look forward to really breaking this down and doing a video about it in the future. But there's a lot of people who think that Christina is Angelina, man. And I wouldn't be opposed to that, and I think it can be done. And the reason why I think it can be done is because we got to think, if Roman was watching Billy, you know, keeping tabs on him, not to, you know, see what he was going to do as a killer wise, but because he was trying to catch up with him to let him know, you know, what was going on. We can also assume that at some point, maybe he saw Billy with Christina, not Sydney. You know, and what if that was Angelina, you know, and he got to her, and then over the course of a couple years, you know what I mean, she shows up with Roman in Scream 3 or whatever and stuff like that, helps him, you know, the whole hoopla, but Sydney don't recognize her because it's been a few years and Sydney's been through so much shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So she's not even, and for all we know, for what they made it sound like, Sydney and Christina didn't go to high school together. So she wouldn't even know what Christina looks like. Yeah. You know, so I think it could work. That would be really fascinating.
That would be crazy. Like at the end of Scream 7, if like Angelina walks out and it's just, and they're like, we're shocked by the audience. We get that shock, and then we see Sam or Tara going, "Mom,"
Right.
like that. Like that would be wild,
It would be.
man.
It would be.
Man, you got my head spinning, man.
Bro. Yo, so let me ask you this. Did you find it because I think what they did so well with Samantha in this movie is they blurred the lines with the wrongly accused shit. They blurred the lines with that. And the reason why I say that is because do you realize the only time that Billy shows up, it seems, is in these situations?
Yeah.
You know? And this time around, it's like they really made it like glorified as if like kind of like Billy's like a hero killer.
Yeah. That's one thing I don't know how I feel about. It's like he's almost like like the Yoda.
Yes, it's so crazy. You know, I was so
Billy Yoda.
entertained when he's like, "Yeah, this is the shit I'm talking about. This is some cool shit." You know what I mean? And he's just like, "Come on, Sam, me and you get our murder on together. The Team Loomis," and I'm just like, and then she touches the glass, and then Tara comes up, and even she's like, "What are you doing?" And Sam's just like, "I don't know." And I thought that was so unique because it's like they are really blurring the lines between mastermind and victim. Like they're really doing a good job with that, man. But do you find it odd how and why she kept Richie's number in her phone?
No,
Like,
I it's like she just forgot about it, I guess.
How do you? I
don't know, man.
I don't know.
But I knew it was going to be something connected to Richie whenever I saw the actor. Whenever I saw that scene for sure. But I was like, why is he on the red carpet at the premiere of this movie? What's his name?
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Yeah. Why is Jack Quaid at the premiere of this movie? And so I was like, he has to be in it some way, some form. So, and then same thing with Billy or Skeet Ulrich, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're both definitely in this movie some way, somehow. So,
I thought the execution was great with the whole connecting every past killer by dropping off the masks and all that stuff. That was
I love that.
I loved it too. That was very Scream 3-ish with like Marines pictures and stuff.
Yeah, that was super cool. That was super cool.
It really was.
Brock, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. And we're going to put your number, your digits in the chat right now. So everyone, his number is 911. I'm just kidding. I'll give it to Marcus after the show. Thank you again. Do you think he deserves another video? Should we do another video?
Yeah, hook him up.
All right.
I'll beatbox your ass.
I love that
classic.
damn movie. Yeah, it is.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Man, this StreamYard, man, it jumps around a little bit.
It does, man.
You have to like.
It has its flaws.
It does. It needs to be recoded.
It does.
Just some things. Okay. Where was I in the chat? Let's get back to the chat for a second. Let's see what everybody's saying. If I skip over your comment, I'm sorry. Repost it in the comment section, and I will try to get to it. But I am behind on the chat tonight. Man, I'm jealous, man. You already got to see it twice. I need to see it. I'm actually going tomorrow. I'm going to go see it again. I saw it in 3D. Did you see it in 3D?
Yep.
What'd you think?
Wasn't bad.
Really? You liked it in 3D?
It wasn't too bad. I don't know if it was maybe, the 3D features or the lenses that they had there at the theater I was at, but it was better than most 3D movies I've seen. Like, it actually looked 3D-ish in most spots. Some other movies, it's just like, how's this 3D? There's nothing popping out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it wasn't
too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like My Bloody Valentine 3D.
No.
It wasn't like that intense. I didn't really see a whole lot of 3D. I saw some stuff, but like also, man, like it brought down some of like my experience, because man, I had like a splitting headache while watching the movie and then trying to watch it in 3D as well.
Right.
And there's one person in the audience that was kind of distracting with their phone, and the theater I was in, like the seats were kind of close,
Okay.
and so like the person that sat in front of me was like almost touching my knees, so I was kind of uncomfortable in my seat, and I was like, man, I just want to move.
Right.
Like I was just like, the whole entire time I was like, man, I just need to see this movie again. I'm not relaxed enough or something.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, that sucks if you can't be relaxed and focused on the movie because like you got so many other things going on around you. You're not really able to catch everything like you want to.
Right.
Stuff like that. Like, yeah, that sucks. I've been through that before. But I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I mean, I just last night after work or whatever, I just made a conscious decision. Well, on my way to work, I was just like, man, I got my tickets for tomorrow. Man, can I really wait? And I'm just like, so I hit my
What's
buddy
up,
up.
Omni?
I hit my buddy up. I was like, yo, bro, I'll buy your tickets. You trying to roll? And he was just like, yeah, bro. You know, I've been wanting to see it. And I was just like, all right, we're catching a 10 o'clock show tonight or whatever. And I just said, you know what, the hell with it. And I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, it was really good. I was really impressed with what they did. It was a lot like Scream 2 to a
Yeah.
degree with the motive and everything, the revenge, but they still found a way to be different about it, and that's what I respect.
Yeah. I mean, I did too. Like some of the dialogue in the third act in the reveal kind of took me out of it. I was kind of like, man, I want you to keep that same seriousness that you showed in the trailers, in the TV spots. Bring that darkness here. Bring that darkness that Billy Loomis brought here. But maybe that's the point of bringing Billy Loomis in this right now, is like you're not as good as him, you know, like you're not as dark as him.
Right.
Because when Billy was so serious, Stu was so goofy, you know, it just seems like I want to see a Ghostface reveal where that Ghostface, I'm scared of that Ghostface after he's revealed.
Got you.
I don't want to see them like hamming it up a little bit or just being like over the top, and it's just like, I don't want to see, no one can top goofy crazy like Stu Macher. If it ain't Stu Macher, don't attempt it.
Right. I do kind of feel like that's what they kind of tried to do with Jack.
Yeah.
And that's why they had him die the way he did.
Yeah.
If he is dead. I mean,
who, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say he is, but I don't know, man.
Lie a virgin.
Yeah, I don't know. The reason why it bugs me is because they try to make it like Stu's death, and it's like there's no electrocution. Why the hell are you shaking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
didn't like how the TV was chunked like that.
Right.
It didn't look right.
It didn't.
It looked. I was like, hell no.
Right. Exactly. Like, it just. I definitely did get a lot of like low grade Stu Macher vibes off of his character. Like, they tried. I kind of feel like they try to poke fun at us fans to a degree because, you know, we believe he's alive. And in so many ways, I feel like they try to, you can make the argument, especially those who don't believe he's alive. You can make the argument like, see, they're making fun of y'all for thinking that. That's why they had Ethan die that way and stuff like that. But I'm still not buying it. You know what I mean? You put that piece of dialogue with Mindy and Kirby in there for a reason, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I will say this though. Excuse me. We got a lot less Stu Easter eggs than I thought.
You thought we got less?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think we got more Stu Easter eggs than, you know?
I mean, yeah, I do. I mean, like, you know, I never really counted it. That's why I need to see it for a second time. Because I feel like I need to watch it again. But I'm just glad we got something, I guess. but it did. I still got that vibe that like, or that feeling like there's a possibility. You know, it's still a
Right.
question mark. They're still doing that question mark thing. Like it's just like it could or it could not be. Are they just playing with us, or are they planning something?
Right.
But I guess you said, yeah, we did get less because Tara said something about it at the beginning of Scream 5. And then we got the YouTube video that Richie was watching with Dead Meat and everybody and
Vince.
Kirby. But isn't that crazy that Kirby was on that? And so was the Stu Macher link.
Yep.
So who's to say that they haven't been in contact? And she even like mentions it in this movie, right? That she's like, some people still think he's alive. So she's still planting that possibility.
No, that was Mindy.
Was it Mindy that said that?
Yeah. Yeah, because Kirby said, "Oh, that's the TV."
See, I
that
need to
killed
see this
Stu."
again.
Kirby said, "That's the TV that killed Stu Macher," and then Mindy was like, "That's if you think he's dead."
Oh, I thought Kirby followed up with that. See, why in my head do I
But-
see Kirby saying that?
What I found interesting about that is the way Kirby looked at her after that, like kind of like she just gave her a face.
Maybe it bothered her.
Something like that, but it was like a face, like it just was a face that really caught my eye when she did it. And I don't think it was Liana who was at Gail's house. I don't. And the reason why I say that is because now I'm gonna go back and look at it again, you know what I mean, to further clarify and stuff like that. But her mask that she was wearing, Stu Macher's mask or whatnot, and the mask that was worn at Gail's scene, it looked more like the mask Ethan was wearing. And another reason why I don't believe it's her, Liana, because the way she stabbed Mindy or the way she kills, it doesn't line up with how that Ghostface was in Gail's house, with the chop, like the chop on the floor, really stabby. And
I
then
like
on
that.
top of that, this was the biggest tell for me.
Yeah.
The double.
Ah.
The double. I saw that and I was just like, that's Stu.
Stu. That
That's
is a
Stu
Stu
shit.
move. That's a
That's
Stu,
his
like
move.
over Sydney in the first one.
Right. And some
Yeah.
people will argue and say, oh, well, she did say that Stu Macher was her favorite. But, and this is another thing that they did do again with this Gale scene. And I think we all were kind of hoping they would get away from it, and they kind of didn't, is having these characters who are not believable enough to do things that they are not really capable of doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you really think that this girl is going to be able to pick up that big old muscle Brooks dude and toss him dude like that? Like,
good point. Good point, dude.
like, come on. And I think they try to throw a subtle jab at fans with that line saying all those muscles didn't help much. Basically trying to say like it doesn't matter about the size.
Yeah.
BS. When you're having damn near a teenager pick up a fully grown 200-pound brick house, that counts. Like,
I want to talk about her. I'll be right back. I know I shouldn't say that. But what do you think about this? Dominic St. Clair Studios is in the house. What's up, Dom? Welcome, man. Awesome. Come on, Chad was stabbed by 2 ghost faces and survived. I want to talk about this.
Yep.
Keep the chat going. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. And we got another super chat, so we got a few things to talk about. So I'll be
no doubt, buddy. I got you.
I will be. I know you're not supposed to say that.
I'll
but
be right back.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, bud. But yeah, Dominic and chat to comment on Dominic's comment here. Yeah, Chad was stabbed by 2 ghost faces and survived. I thought that was one of the best scenes. It almost broke my heart because I didn't want to see Chad die, but I already felt that Chad is kind of like the new Dewey. So something like that didn't surprise me, especially being that he lived and he survived. So it sucked seeing him get slashed up like that, but I still had confidence that he was going to pull through. But I will say that was a sick scene. But that's the scene that I believe that's not the family. I don't. After going back and checking it a couple times now, I'm blowing it up. Unless they changed masks in a few split seconds, I don't believe that's Ethan or Quinn underneath those masks, especially with the height between the two. Now again, I could be wrong, but that's the scene right there throughout the whole movie that really stood out to me was Chad's stabbing scene with those two ghost faces. But that was a gnarly scene, and then you got the double knife wipe. Thing of beauty for sure. It was really, really cool. Yeah, Dominic, I agree. Chad is Dewey, yes. And I love it. I love Chad's character. I love Mason Gooding in this role. He's fantastic. I don't think they could have found a better person to play Chad's role, honestly. I really don't. He's funny, you know what I mean? But what I really loved about Scream 6 with Chad's character, is that he wasn't just this alpha jock type character. You saw the humanity in him. You saw that he was actually like a real human being, like a caring person. You know what I mean? You really got to see that to the forefront. And I'm excited to see what happens with him and Tara. I didn't expect him to go that direction. I know we started getting rumors leading into the film about that relationship. And then we started obviously seeing images and stuff that kind of, prove that. But it was really nice to see them go in that direction. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out for Scream 7.
Yeah. I think, like, you probably already mentioned it. I didn't hear everything that you said, but we're probably pretty much on the same thing. Like I feel like they're trying to set him up as the new Dewey a little bit. But instead of him being goofy and clumsy, he's the heroic, protective type.
Right.
But he also has that charm. He still has that comedic shop. I really like Chad. And that's the thing. I'm so afraid that I do like Chad so much that they're going to kill him off quick in the next one. Like, they're kind of like, because that's how it is. Like, whenever you, like, really like somebody, it's like, no, they're going to rip your heart out in the next one. Right. Like, I honestly think that should have been his scene to go, but it was like an afterthought. Like, I think originally that was probably his scene to go, and then they were just like, hey, let's just bring him back. Like, he's really likable in this movie, and we could really use him in the next one, like, so yeah, he's a fan favorite now, so they want to keep that going. So I just feel like that's one thing I wish this movie was a little bit more ballsy and take a risk and kill somebody.
Right.
As aggressive as this Ghostface was, too many people survived. Way too many people survived.
I don't think that was part of the plan.
I don't either. There's a lot of this, like with the rewrites with Sydney or Neb not coming back and everything. It's like I just feel like some of this stuff was a real afterthought.
Yeah.
On the second half of the movie.
It's like they picked a lot of stuff up and put it down immediately. But I feel like they kind of are setting it up for 7. And again, I really feel like what happened is this. Excuse me. Is Kirby and whoever else is with Kirby. Because did you catch that Kirby with the whole Atlanta thing? Yeah. So were our first 2 killers. They were connected to Kirby in Atlanta. Because that's where they were from.
What do you mean?
That's where they were from. They were from Atlanta. Remember on the phone when Jason is on the phone with who he thinks is Greg, and Greg says, "Come on, Jason, how long have we known each other?" And Jason's like, "You tell me." And he's like, "We've known each other for 8.5 years. We met in junior high in Atlanta."
Oh, fuck, dude.
And
did you catch that on your first viewing or your second?
First.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Good shit.
Yes. As soon as I heard that, and then I already knew about Kirby coming out of Atlanta, I was just like, that's interesting. And then this is what makes me feel like Kirby might have even been involved with them guys. she might have been is because in that Ghostface shrine or whatever, that, you know, those kids, you know, put, because we got to keep in mind that initially those guys had that or whatever. In that graffiti art, bro, when they really get a close up on that graffiti art, I don't care what anybody says, that's Kirby. That's that shot of Kirby sitting in a desk.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah,
bro, that, like, when that shot came up, it was like clear as day, and I was like, bro, that's Kirby. I was like, you can clearly tell that's her. Like, there's no way you cannot say that's not her from the classroom scene in Scream 4. And it just, and even why didn't Gail trust Kirby? You know, Gail even said when, you know, when she got back to the house, police business my ass, she was like, bitch, you were, you know, I was doing this when you were in the Glee Club or whatever. And she was like, and plus, I don't trust you to protect them. Why? Why doesn't Gail trust Kirby? And it's not like when Kirby showed up, Gail was really welcoming to her.
Yeah.
Like, it's very fascinating. Like, bro, I think the key is when you go back and rewatch that Chad scene. That's the one. And when you get a close-up on those ghost faces, and I might even send you the shot that I have so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Bro, that's not the family, man. It's not. The masks are too clean. There's no cracks. And I got up in it. There's no cracks. None. Too clean. And I'm sorry, they didn't have enough time in between chasing those girls afterwards to switch masks. Why would they switch masks all of a sudden anyway?
Yeah.
Now,
So maybe there was more people there that entire time.
cough, Danny.
Dude, I really do think I think that maybe I don't know, man, like he was suspicious the entire time, but it was like a flip of the coin, like he could or he could not be. I still feel like he should have been in that final act.
Oh, he was.
He was.
He was, buddy.
Yeah.
Trust me, he was. I'm telling you, he was. Like, I feel like the way that they did that was that there was two basically different cults running around, and one basically interfered with the other. So then they was just basically letting it play out.
Yeah.
And then when basically the family revealed themselves, it's like, okay, let's kind of take a step back, and now we're gonna wait or whatnot, because there was just too many moments. Now, you want to know what the moment that the two moments with Danny that caught my attention is when Sam said something about Tara being pissed off at her, and Danny just gives her this look and was like, yeah, family can be rough.
Yeah.
That one. And then on the subway scene, when that ghost face is clearly walking towards them.
Yeah.
Like, there was already another door behind them. They could have walked out that door. They didn't need to go to the one where Sam and them were at. That ghost face is clearly charging at them, and Danny steps in front, and then that ghost face just decides to, leave.
Oh,
like,
you think that was like a
that was a signal, in my opinion. Back off.
Dang. So it wasn't a protective thing, it was just like territorial.
Yes, back off.
Yeah. Damn.
Like, it's crazy, man. Like,
man, I'm really gonna be thinking about some of this stuff while rewatching it tomorrow again. I got another super chat in the house from our buddy #Digital Bouncer. Kicking trolls' asses one stream at a time. Oh yeah. Brock Willis with that damn action star name. With a $5 super chat. If you give out my digits on air, be sure to give them Hollywood 555 number. Why was someone's knee touching you? That is sketch as fuck. #kneecap seduction. Man, I know, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, for real. Like I'm sitting there. Like, I took my daughter, and she's a big Scream fan. We're sitting there, and she loves the TV show. She loves all the movies. She's she wants to be like an FBI agent, like when she grows up.
Nice.
Like she watches all that stuff, the mystery stuff,
Hell yeah, man.
like cop shows,
Cool.
what's it called? Criminal Minds. She loves
Nice.
all that stuff.
ID.
Yeah, she's all over it, man. And so we went and saw this last night. We're sitting there, you know, we got our popcorn, we're having a good time, getting ready to watch it. I hear somebody back there watching videos loud, their speakers really loud, like they are not even trying to be discreet about it.
Oh wow.
And the next thing you know, I'm like, all right, well, we got a little bit of space, but the seats were already kind of like crunched a little
Yeah.
bit, you know, like I was like, wow, like I've been to this theater before, but they've never, the seats have always been more comfortable than this. What's going on here? And then a lady walks in by herself and she sits right in front of me, and it just like leans back and it like pops my knees, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And my daughter's like, Dad, calm down, you know? And I'm just like, I'm like
This
trying
is
not to cuss.
uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah. I mean, she didn't just like sit down like gently. She
yeah,
just like,
she reclined
she
back
just
on the
flopped
kneecaps.
down. And I was like, dang, like I'm not even a tall guy, you know? Like that hurt.
Hell yeah.
And so like the whole entire movie, it's like if I move my legs one, it's gonna touch the back of her seat. So it's like barely not touching the seat the entire movie, and I'm kind of like moving around, all
Right,
kind of
trying to get comfortable.
Yeah,
trying to, you know,
and my daughter's like, Dad, quit moving. And I'm just like, I can't. We're gonna have to move like a couple rows back, and that's probably what we should have done, but we didn't. So
wait, did
yeah,
you say you're gonna rewatch the movie tomorrow?
yeah, I'm gonna watch it in 2D. Actually, Carrie was telling me that 4DX is pretty badass at
Oh.
Cinemark. I might
Huh.
go to a Cinemark and go see it. But
See,
my
I don't
daughter actually just got a
I don't think we
a
got, I don't know
job.
if we got one around here. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. And also, hey, speaking of AMC theaters, I'm gonna show these cups. I showed them last night. Did I show you?
No, I think I've seen a post about them though.
Yeah, I got all three, man.
Nice.
So here it is. AMC. It's lenticular.
Nice.
And you turn it around, you got Ghostface popping in and out,
Nice. That's hard.
and then you see the pose
Yep.
of Ghostface right here. So yeah, pretty
man.
cool. But they had
Hell
three
yeah.
different versions, so I had to get all three.
Hell yeah, man. Shit, I would
They
have.
didn't even have them in the system yet, so I had to buy them after the movie. And I was like, all right, well, you put those three to the side, because if anybody else comes up in here and buys my cups, I'm gonna be upset.
I know
wi-
that's right.
I wish they had different images on this part, but it's just like three different like figures.
Postures and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that kind of pop off.
Yeah, that's tight.
But yeah, that is pretty cool, right?
Hell yeah, man.
I like it. I've already ordered the Cinemark cups and the popcorn cup that I missed out on. And here's the other one.
That's tight. They're
Yeah.
all tight. I love them.
Yeah,
I
dude.
need me one of those. At least one of them. Hell.
Yeah, they were my daughter actually just got a job at that theater, so I'm gonna be like, hey, hook your dad up, you know, like
I know
like there's
that's
like
right.
billboards and stuff, like they'll trash those after the movies are out,
Yeah.
but you can write your name on it. And I said, hey, bring them home, because you know, like I'll find a spot for them.
No, definitely. That's what a lot of the movie theaters do. I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger, I used to work at the West Manchester Mall out here, and they have the Regal 13 out there. And I had a couple people in there that worked and stuff like that, and they'd be taking the posters and everything out to the garbage. And I'd tell them, like, yo, nah, like a couple of them let me get, like Halloween, whatever and stuff like, nah, don't throw them
Yeah.
out. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
I used to work at the theater, man. That was like the best job I ever had, man. It was
That-
so much
yeah.
fun. I saw Freddy versus.
It sounds like a fun job, honestly.
It is. I mean, like, I watched Freddy versus Jason before it came out. I
Nice.
watched the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel. I saw that before it came out. Like, there was just so many movies. I like, even though I worked there, I stayed there in my spare time too. But yeah, man, it was. I don't know if it was kneecap seduction, but it was felt more like, I don't know if I should say this on stream, but felt like kneecap rape. that she just took it. I was like, oh man, I was in so much pain. Man, my knees hurt right now thinking about it. I'm like rubbing my
like you
knees.
said, she reclined back into it.
She didn't recline. They didn't recline. They kind of just flexed. And she just flopped down into it, and it just popped my knees real quick. I was pissed, man. I think, and I already had a headache. I was like, man, I do not want this experience right now while watching this movie.
Well, hopefully tomorrow's a way better experience, my friend, because then it'll give you a chance to really hone in and get comfortable and watch and enjoy the movie.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of like 4DX, how the seats move and stuff like that. Like that whole ladder sequence, the way the camera's like zooming down and stuff. Like if it makes you like sway a little bit, I think that's
that'd be
really
tight.
Cool. Yeah, I like 4DX can be fun in a lot of movies.
But, damn, that would be tight if that were to happen during the ladder scene.
Yeah. Brock, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. And yeah, man, you're they weren't touching it, they just took it. My knee was taken. But I'm not going to give out your number on air, I promise you, buddy. But you get another video, and then we're going to get back to the chat. And here we go.
I comb the desert, so we're combing it.
Found anything yet?
Nothing yet, sir.
How about you?
Not a thing, sir.
What about you guys? We ain't found shit.
Yo, is that big ass combs and picks?
Yeah, because like, have you ever seen Spaceballs?
No.
Oh, it's like making fun of like Star Wars. It's a Mel Brooks movie. John Candy's in it. Bill Pullman.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it then. John Candy's the man.
Yeah, he plays like a ripoff of what's his name from Star Wars? Chewie. His name's Barf, and he's like this big old dog. But anyways, they tell him comb the desert. And they go out there with these big ass combs.
Yeah,
like
that's
literally
that's what had me dying just real quick. I'm just like, yo, I'm just looking. I'm like, is that a fucking pick?
Yeah. And Rick Moranis plays Dark Helmet instead of Darth Vader, and he's like this small dark Darth Vader. It's so funny, dude. I love Mel Brooks movies, man. They don't make movies like that.
I gotta watch this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, check it out. I always thought that like with the new Star Wars movies coming out, I was like, man, it's a missed opportunity. They should bring back Spaceballs, do a sequel or something.
Right.
But anyways, it was like when parodies were really, really good. Brock, thank you for that $5 super chat, dude. Super awesome. All right, man. Man, I am getting behind on this chat, but it is okay. If I miss your comment, I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit. I might skip over some just to trying to catch up a little bit. Because, I mean, these were like at 11:30. That was like 45 minutes ago. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I was corrected on that, Omni. Mindy did say that. Well, I don't know. Omni also says, I don't think Kirby is a killer. But you know what? She did. I mean, okay. Let's talk about Kirby for a minute because you already mentioned it. Omni's mentioned it. I wasn't vibing with her, man. I love seeing Kirby back. I love Kirby. Right. I loved her more in 4 than I did this one. She did feel kind of like an afterthought in this one. I felt like she was kind of shoehorned in a little bit.
She was just there. She was just there for the nostalgia of Sydney being gone. Right.
It was the well,
but they
announced her before we found out about Sydney not coming back.
That is true.
They did announce her.
That is true. And this is just my opinion. You can make the case they did it, because they knew they weren't going to get Nev back. But what we just got in this film, and the way her character was structured and built, I think there's a long-term plan, or at least for 7, for her to be revealed, man. Like they just did so many funky shit with her in this movie, to where this is not the same Kirby Reed we liked in Scream 4, like you just said. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a funk in the room when she's there.
There's a funk.
There is,
who
man.
farted?
Like there's something that just doesn't add up with her. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing.
It doesn't feel real, does it?
Doesn't.
It doesn't
doesn't
feel
at
like
all.
she's a real FBI agent. It doesn't.
No.
It's like I almost don't buy her character. Like, I just feel like I'm just calling bullshit here a little bit, you know? Like, there is a bunch of moments like that. As much as I want her to be our new final girl, but she's not really.
No.
She, if anything, she's maybe our new Gale, if anything. That would be super crazy if in the end of all of this, that Kirby and Stu are like in a relationship and they're like, hey baby, you know, or something like that. Like, that would be crazy, you know?
Bro, she says she has an interesting ghost face attack. She doesn't seem too bothered by them.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that she was okay, so why have you taken an interest in Samantha? You know, after all this time, why did you decide to follow her social media account? My thing is that you were keeping track of her social media account, but yet you lost track of these 2 first Ghostface killers that you were supposedly investigating.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up. And the fact that those guys came from the same place as Kirby, it's funky, man. It's really, really funky.
Dude, I did not catch that, but man, that is such a that's something to chew on there, dude. For real.
Yeah, bro.
Like, that's not a coincidence.
No, it's not. And then all of a sudden she just shows up out of nowhere. Like, but she's been investigating these 2 already. Like, nah, something's not right here. You know what I mean? Like, something isn't right at all with Kirby. And I don't think anything. I initially thought that, you know, Danny was, you know, I like what they did with Danny to an extent. I think Bearded said this. He's everything that Derek could have been if they wouldn't have, you know, tried to make him look like a killer in Scream 2. You know what I mean? But I still have my reservations about Danny. And the main thing that really bothers me is the final act scene where Sam basically tells him to go. Like, bro, like, my thing is this. Hold on. How did he know Mindy was at the hospital? They didn't know that. They didn't know Mindy was attacked or anything until they were, you know, the family was revealed. So how the hell did he know to show up at the hospital?
Yeah.
See, I just thought about that. Like, yeah, see.
I thought it would have been really cool. Like, our cast is pointing the finger at Ethan this entire movie, pretty much. I mean, like, Chad's like, you're not leaving my fucking sight, pretty much. Like,
right.
And he even like gets aggressive. Where the fuck were you? You know?
Right.
And then Mindy's like on the text, like, AKA Ghostface. You know, she's like stuck in the cart with him.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a perfect timing to reveal Ethan as the killer. Like,
they did.
I mean like this though.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have killed Mindy at that moment. Like, he sneaks up, it happens the way it is, but while he's like looking at her, like covering her mouth or whatever he did, and like twisting the knife or whatever, I think that like he should have taken off his mask or like lifted it up for a minute and being like, you know, like smiling and put it back down and actually finish the job and then walk off and just leave her there dead. So we as the audience, like, he's like, you're right, I was. And
see, I'm not gonna lie. If there was one thing that I do think that I want to say did wrong, but they blew their cover early about who the killers were. And at least in my opinion, I knew Liana was going to be a killer as soon as she mentioned something about her brother.
Yeah,
I knew that was about Richie.
I did too. I did
You know what I
too.
mean?
But here's the thing: I was spoiled on the killers before I even saw the movie. That's what pissed me off.
Right.
That's what happened with Scream 4. That's why I was like, I've never been like, I was like, man, that just kind of brings the effect down a little bit, you know?
Right.
I mean, we all assumed who the killers were in Scream 5, but I didn't know. I wasn't officially
Right.
spoiled. Assholes on the internet, and go fuck yourself if you're watching this. But man, not just one, not just two, but several people deliberately sent me messages
Right.
and put things in my comment section, both, just to do it.
Yeah, just to do it. You know what I mean? Somebody tried. They didn't send me no video or anything, but they basically like tried to give away like who the killers were, at least two of them,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And like I was fortunate that like, excuse me, it was like a glance for me. And the reason why it was a glance is because their first message was like they didn't say anything about who it was, but they were basically hinting that they were about to spoil it.
yeah,
So as soon as they did that, I was able to hit the block button.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But yeah, you know, people on the internet. But I'm not gonna lie. If I feel like anyway, even if it didn't get leaked, I feel like we would have figured it out anyway. Because
Yeah, it wasn't.
it was so
Yeah, it
obvious.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't very hard to figure out. I do wish that they had that moment with what's the girl's name again?
Quinn?
Quinn. I don't know why I keep forgetting her name. I knew something was up with that scene. I was like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to see how that was all played about, you know, like how did they do that whole trickery right there, you know, with
Right.
because what's his name across on the other side of the building had a photo or something, right? Of Ghostface like attacking her.
No, I think Ghostface sent that
Oh, he sent it to everybody.
to everybody.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But I would like to see her actually kill the guy that she was like sleeping with that was in the bathtub.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw that scene where Ghostface is standing in her room, what let me know it was not only Ethan, because you know he's the only one who's not there, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, and stuff, and he knows that house because he's a roommate there, but the direction Ghostface cuts into the camera, he's already on the opposite side of the room, like as
Yeah.
if he was pacing back and forth just waiting. And then you hear, you know, Quinn on the phone with Bailey, you know,
Yeah.
with the dad. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is Richie's family. I'm just like, there's just no other way around it. Girl talks about her brother's dead. Her dad moves to New York, you know what I mean, to be up her ass. You know what I mean? All this stuff, like, nah, this is I kind of figured it out pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
I'm not mad because I felt like they all did a pretty good job either way of still making you guess. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Dermot. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little disappointed with him in terms of after Quinn's death,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Them tears were fake as hell. Like I thought he could have did a better job selling that.
Who?
Dermot.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. I was like, he has this moment to be really menacing, and I feel like he's the caliber of the actor that he is. I feel like he has it in him.
Right.
But was this the director's choice to say, "Hey, no, do it this way"?
Right.
You know, like I wanted him to be mean. You know, I felt like Mrs. Loomis was scarier than him.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, if you're Mrs. Loomis 2.0 here, all right,
Right.
what are you about to bring? I want to see you. I know it's mean. Scream 5, the way the kills were and stuff, it was very mean natured.
Oh yeah.
But when we get to the reveal, they're not very mean. They're kind of
Funny.
goofy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I want to see Dermot maybe punch Sam, drag her. Let's feel like she's defeated and he's about to take her out, you know. I wanted to see more of a fight scene up there on that balcony instead of the way they fell off. I didn't like the way that looked.
Right.
I
What they basically did with that, in my opinion, was they basically hammered home the fact that Richie wasn't. He was exactly what his father was. Basically, he was a wimp. You know what I mean? Like when it came down to the get down, they was pussies. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they really weren't about that life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, I will say this though. Who the hell was
But the way he handled that bodega scene seemed like he meant business though.
right?
That was a kick-ass scene.
Nah, you're right. I will say that, you know what I mean, that was a really well see. But do you think that was Dermot? Because we got to remember, I mean, it could have been a cut scene already. I mean, it could have been, you know, we don't know how long it took for Sam to decide she was going to go to the station. But right before that, we see him at that house with Samantha's ID. Do you think he would have got there that fast? Like,
man, I don't know. It's stuff like that I was like, man, this is like, I don't know. I wish we would have got flashbacks of him planting evidence and stuff. You know, I feel like
right.
I always say that with every Scream movie. Give us some fucking flashbacks.
Right.
I want to see something, man. Like the way the Saw movies did. They always showed flashbacks and showed how he did this and what he did that. Like, those are the type of whodunit movies that like really hit at home and is like memorable to me because it's like, oh, now it makes sense. You showed me how you did it. You showed me all this kind of stuff. You don't show me everything, but show me a little bit, you know, just show me, you know, how you did this. Like, I knew whenever he walked out of that crime scene, he was crying. I was like, he's acting his ass off. Now, I don't know if he's a bad actor. I don't think this guy is a bad actor. I've seen him in other stuff. Or is this just, and then like, let's go kill this son of a bitch. You know, or whatever the fuck he said. I'm like,
oh, whenever you fuck with my family, you die.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was like, it was too much. It was over the top, and it was to the point it was cheesy. It was like, man, like, I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
And also, the scene in the park. That whole entire scene, I feel like something else should have happened there. Like, I was like, all right, something should have happened here similar to what happened to Randy in this whole scenario. They're kind of mirroring that whole Randy scenario, but they're doing it in a park. Why in the fuck are you still in a cop car but not taking the officer with you to where you're going? I thought that was dumb as hell. I thought that was like the dumbest part of the movie.
You could say the same thing about Kirby.
I mean, you could say they don't trust anybody here, but
I don't know, man.
If you don't trust anybody, then why even be in that scenario to begin with everybody?
Because sometimes, and we know this, sometimes these killers don't think everything through. As long as they feel like they can get through to the finish line to give us their motive, then that's good enough. Not everything, is going to be squeaky clean. Almost, it's been so hard to do a Scream movie that was as flawless in terms of execution from the killers like 96. That was flawless execution. You were guessing. Like, now that we're older and stuff, and like I brought it up, before, especially if you listen, to the voices, you could definitely tell it's Skeet. But Matthew, on the other hand, you would have never thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's flawless execution. like in some of these newer films, it's starting to become easier to to predict who it is. And
That's the thing. I'm tired of it being so damn predictable.
I know.
Like let's at least I mean, you could have one killer being predictable. Okay. It's always been predictable. Mickey was predictable. You could say Billy, but it was kind of like a back and forth thing, red herring, you're not sure. But there's always like Mrs. Loomis was wild. Stu was wild. We didn't suspect Stu. I think
Nope.
I speak for majority of the people. If they felt anything like me, I was more shocked to see Stu as a killer than Billy.
Right.
Like I was shocked. I was like, oh, Billy is the killer. Oh shit.
Yep.
When Stu, when she runs into Stu, and then he's like looking around and he pulls it up and he looks down, he's just like, surprise, Sydney.
Yep.
Fucking chills, man.
Yep.
Like, I want a moment like that. That's what I crave in another movie. Like I want that moment. I want that moment again. And there's certain movies. One of my favorite whodunit movies, I feel like does it right. And I might do a watch party on this one night. I know a lot of us are talking about bringing back the Guilty Pleasure Movie Club. Maybe we'll do it then. But I don't really even look at this as like a guilty pleasure. I think it's just a really good movie that's underrated and didn't get a lot of recognition. Did you ever see the movie Mindhunters?
Mindhunters?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking about Manhunter, the fucking Hannibal Lecter movie.
No.
Yeah, Mindhunters, no.
And then there was a show on Netflix called Mindhunter. Not the same thing. That was just a show. Mindhunters was before Saw. And it was a movie that didn't really get fully finished. They kind of rushed the ending because it got shelved for a minute. It didn't come out on time. But it was a Rennie Harlan movie.
Oh.
And it has Christian Slater, LL Cool J, Val Kilmer.
Oh, wow.
Among other cast. And they're all like FBI profilers. And they get dropped for a training expedition like on this island. And there's like these like crime scene scenarios that are going on, and the killer's called the Puppeteer, and Val Kilmer's like over this group, and he's like, yeah, there's a killer here, his name's the Puppeteer. You got to figure out what his next move is and where he's going to go next, who's his next victim. And there's like traps, there's actually traps set. This is before Saw was Saw, and I feel like Saw took inspiration from this movie a little bit.
Okay.
And then these FBI agents that are together are like start actually getting killed at these crime scenes. It's fake. The crime scenes are fake, but there's a trap at these crime scenes and they start getting killed. And then they start realizing nobody else is on the island but us. And they all pull guns on each other. So it's a very whodunit type movie. Such a good movie, dude.
Okay.
I have not seen this movie. It is a fucking blast.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
It's like an action, suspense, a little bit of horror because there's some body horror because there's like people like hung up with hooks and puppeteer style. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I gotta watch that then.
And LL Cool J, you thought LL Cool J was cool in Deep Blue Sea. He kicked ass in this movie. It's the same director who directed Deep Blue Sea.
Nice.
He immediately, after he made Deep Blue Sea, he made
Mindhunters. Okay.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out. But I want the way that whodunit thing was played out and the way I was shocked by the end of that. I want that feeling.
Right.
It's like I haven't had that in a very, very long time.
I honestly think we're going to get it more in 7. And if anything, I think that's going to be like the massive, like the most shocking, like in terms of reveal.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen, man. Like,
what if we get no mastermind? What if we get just another couple of kids? What if they're not thinking that deep into it?
I don't blame you for thinking that. I just feel like after watching this movie twice now, they set the table. They set the table for the original Scream 3 script with Stu as the mastermind, and we're gonna get a cult. Like they set that table. You know what I mean? Like this, like again, this movie was a cult of ghost faces that wasn't working together. That's what it was. You had 5 total ghost faces. 3 of them were working together, 2 of them weren't. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, there's more. I even think you can make the argument there may have been 3 different groups of ghost faces killers in this film. And I think one, especially if you go back and rewatch that scene with Chad and you see how clean those masks are and you see the height differential, you're gonna be like, yo, that's not the family. That's not the brother and the sister. That whoever's supposed to be the sister, she's whoever's supposed to be the sister in that scene with Chad, they're taller than her. They're almost as tall as whoever if that was supposed to be Jack Champion's character. Like I caught that, and I'm just
I gotta
like,
watch this, man. I'm so glad I'm so glad we're having this conversation before I watch it again tomorrow, because I'm gonna go into it with like different eyes. Like
Right.
I'm just gonna be like, just like watching it from like top to bottom, just trying to figure everything out. Because I feel like I do. Like I feel like I watched it, but I almost feel like I didn't watch it because I guess like the spoilers did something to me, and
Right.
then like just my experience, and it was like I just couldn't enjoy it to where I wanted to. But
Right.
do you agree about this? Like Scream is at a high right now. It has been reignited. Nobody's even watching 65 this weekend. Like my wife and son went and saw 65 because they looked really good. Like I wanted to see 65. You know, Sam Raimi produced it
Right.
from Evil Dead. And I was like, man, and it's the creators of the Quiet Place or whatever. And I was like, man, and it's dinosaurs and they look scary. But nobody's talking about this movie. And it's came out this weekend as well. So
See,
Scream is like really
because-
just knocking it out the park right now.
Yeah, because in all honesty, and I think this is because of what happened when Halloween Ends, a lot of fans and everybody knows this movie right here had to fucking knock it out the park. They had to, for not just the sake of the Scream franchise, not for just the sake of Radio Silence putting their stamp on this franchise, but for the sake of slashers, to keep these new slashers going. Well, old school, but reinventions of these old school slashers going. Scream had to perform well because Halloween Ends didn't. And Scream not only performed well, it subverted everybody's expectations, because even if you guessed the killers early, they still did things differently to where it was completely different than how you thought it was going to play out.
Yeah.
Like they hit the nail on the nail in the coffin, man. In my opinion, I think this was a really good movie. I feel like once you really get to sit down and be comfortable with it and really see things, you know what I mean, and shit like that, you're gonna be like, yo, this movie's even more fire than what I initially thought it could be. And there's so many, bro, there's so many ways they can go for Scream 7, and I feel like they set that table, man. Like they set that table for there to be a cult, and it could possibly be ran by Stu Macher or somebody who's connected to Stu.
Yeah. It would just be, I think it would just be nuts, Kirby and Stu working together. I really do. Like, it's like Scream has now have become, I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon now. Like at 5, like if this movie didn't perform, I'd be like, all right, yeah, it might not take off. But this is taking off. It's kind of like the way the Fast and the Furious films, you know, I mentioned it at the beginning of my stream before you came on, but like, the way it kind of reignited and just kind of took off, you know, I feel like that's Scream is that for horror.
Yep.
You know, yeah, there's some ridiculousness. How does somebody, you know, survive that? Why are we bringing people back from the past? You know, why the hell is Jason Statham back in this? How is Han back in this? All this kind of stuff. How is Kirby back in this? You know, Like that's like the buzz that's around it, and I really think that that's what they're doing. They're doing just a lot of fan service, and
Right.
Marvel was very, that formula worked, um, but by the end, whatever they're going towards, they're gonna have to hit it home. This mastermind's gonna have to be the Roman of this is gonna have to be a Stumacher or something close to it. It's got to be something really smart that's gonna catch us off guard, And I would love to see a killer revealed from a previous movie. Like, what if one of our core four is, which I don't think so. I think if anybody could ever possibly be a killer from our core four and be a killer in a future film, it would have to be Sam or Tara. That's the only thing that, like, I really just don't see Chad or Mindy doing that at all, especially not at this point,
Right.
So
You know
that'd
how
be
I feel about it, man. I'm still even more so now than before. I'm still on that train that Samantha, she's a killer. I still
But
believe
she
it.
left the mask up, and Tara said, "Are you coming?"
That's
And
that
she
that that
dropped it.
yeah, just like she said, "Oh, that's the only physical contact I want to have right now while keeping a secret that she was been sleeping with that dude." You know what I mean? Like she keeps her secrets. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah,
I don't trust her.
and she
I
dropped the mask at a crime scene. That was the last one.
Yeah, because I mean, well, now her DNA is on it too because she put it on. You know what I mean and stuff. But I feel like this. The reason why they did that is to say one or two things. Either that she is like moving on and she's like not trying to be that and she's not that, or she's putting that down because she's accepted her fate and now she's just going to go get her own. Like, I don't feel like you tease that enough in this film. You know what I mean? Her putting her hand on the glass, she puts the costume on. She hacked this dude up 32 times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this, it just like he said, you showed your true face. You know what I mean? And it's like even Ghostface said to her on the phone, for a mastermind, you're not that bright.
Yeah.
And, and my thing is this too. Okay. I mean, it's not impossible, but you mean to tell me she was dating Richie for 6 months and not once met his family? Not once?
Yeah.
Like, and then again, like, I just feel like for somebody who's supposed to, she was on Tara for Tara not handling it the way that she felt Tara shouldn't be handling it. Well, what a way to handle your trauma by keeping the fucking guy who just tried to kill you and your sister, keeping his contact and his picture in your phone, and you forgot to delete it. Baloney.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Like, there's, and then you show up to New York, and this is another big thing that I caught too in Tara's dialogue that I feel like people are overlooking with Sam. She said, "What are you doing here, Sam, in New York?" What do you mean? What are you doing here? You work at 2 shitty jobs, which is funny because we never seen Sam work a lick in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I gotta call out. I'm being stalked.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, you work 2 shitty jobs, you pay the rent, but what is your plan? Like,
Yeah.
so why are you here in New York, Samantha? And this is my thing. You're really trying to protect your sister, but you know for a fact that this killer, especially after Gail done made a book, you know how this thing works out. You watch the stab movies. You know who your father is. You know the story. You really are trying to protect your sister, but wouldn't you want to stay away from her? If you
Yeah,
know,
I mean that's one that's where I feel like in 5, like I feel like we've talked about it. You want to stay away because you're unstable.
right?
That's one of the reasons why you left, but now you're sticking with her to try to protect her, but you almost can't protect her because you're unpredictable for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to get a sister versus sister? Maybe Sam
Bro.
actually does snap.
Bro, and I love how they talked about that too with the whole group thing. I like how when they try to say, "Oh no, the core four can't be the killers because we went through it," and Jack and Leon's like, "Nah, like you guys went through trauma. What if one of you guys snapped and decided to start doing it? You know what I mean? Like I love how they pointed that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I thought that was pivotal in the storytelling.
Yeah, I wanted to see more school setting
I know.
with Samara being like the professor over what was it, film studies or whatever. I wanted to see like maybe they're heading into that class and they're like, hey, the teacher was murdered, but we got a substitute. And the substitute comes in and they still have that whole back and forth about franchises or sequels or whatever, kind of
Right.
like what we got in Scream 2. But this substitute seems a little red herring too, like I don't know, like I didn't really buy that anybody was in college except for like the college party.
Right. Exactly. And that's my thing too. Samantha's not she's not going to school. How's she living in a fucking dorm? Like I understand that. How is she not in college, but she's living in a college dorm?
And isn't New York like really like expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we getting? Well, then again, I mean, it does look like Christina has some money, and she does, go overseas. So, but my thing is this: if she cut Samantha off, how the hell is Samantha paying for her tuition off two? Like, yeah, nothing adds up. Nothing adds up with that. You know what I mean? Because, and that's my thing too. Wait, if Christina cut Tara off, why is she paying for Tara's tuition? Because I'd like to think Tara didn't pay for that herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I guess, yeah. Maybe she just had a scholarship. I don't know.
that could be true.
Maybe
as well.
maybe she took out a bunch of student loans, which
That
I
too.
don't recommend.
That too. You could be right about that.
Yeah. Have you ever met any of the Scream actors?
Matthew and Jamie so far.
Okay. Yeah. Jamie's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jamie
Yeah.
is cool as shit.
Yeah. Matthew's cool too.
Yes.
Matthew's really cool. Skeet's actually kind of cool. He's he's really chill. Like he's just like one
He's
tone.
laid-
It's like you're
he's
almost
laid
too
back.
chill, bro. Like I don't know. Are you really a killer? Because you're really fucking chill. You're like calm as hell. But I don't know. Omni says they followed the West formula. West knew how to build a world and make icons and build bonds. West never killed legacy characters like that. He loved keeping characters around. No, he did kill some legacy characters. He killed Randy,
Right.
and he killed. You could say Cotton. I
Tatum.
consider Cotton a little bit of the legacy. He was there
Tatum's
from the
considered
beginning.
The legacy character from '96 because she was so likable.
Who?
Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum. Yeah, Tatum should have survived.
I mean,
Uh,
Marine. I mean, she was the first one. The entire Scream legacy is about Marine.
Yeah, I always thought it was wild in Scream 1. I thought it would have been cool if like Stu never knew that Billy actually killed his girlfriend. Like, and maybe Stu came across Tatum. And maybe that triggered him in a way that kind of made him mad. Like near the climax, like that wasn't part of the plan, that wasn't part of the plan, bro.
right.
Like you weren't supposed to kill her, man. Like
What do you
It-
think Stu didn't know that Billy killed her?
no, I don't. I mean, he could have. I just think that would have been pretty cool.
Okay.
I've always wondered, like, did Stu know that?
Oh, I think he did.
Billy-
He let her into the basement because
yeah.
he's the one who told her to go get the beer. He knew what was
Right,
going on.
right. I know.
He set her ass up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know. I kind of wanted like that to be part of the friction between Billy and Stu.
Right.
And maybe, that's part of them stabbing each other aggressively. Like after he found out, man, you weren't supposed to kill her. And like maybe he's kind of taking that out on him then. I don't know.
I think it would have meant a lot more if if they would have saved Casey's death then for that, because in my opinion, I feel like Stu was in love with Casey, and I think and people will disagree with me because a lot of people think that Billy's the one who killed Casey. I don't think so. I think it was Stu or whatever, and the reason why is because Stu was in love with her and was pissed off because she left him for Steve. And
Yeah.
when he's going to kill her, he's hesitating. He's shaking. What reason would Billy have to hesitate with Casey?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always thought that
would be cool if they tie that in. Like this all started because I had, a thing for Casey,
right.
They kind of tie in to like, and then Billy just made it about him. Because it doesn't even show. You see, like whenever Billy gives that motive at the end of Scream to Sydney, the look on Stu's face, he looks
didn't know.
shocked just as well. Like, dude, I didn't know we were doing this all because of that.
Right.
Like I thought that we were doing this because of something else.
Yeah, he didn't know. And in all honesty, I think you can make the case that Billy's whole plan was to screw Stu over anyway. Just like basically what Roman said, find yourself a partner, to frame just in case things get sticky.
Yeah.
Billy knew how to manipulate Stu. I don't think it was ever in Billy's plans to go off into the sequel with Stu. I never got those vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I kind of want to I know I just watched the entire franchise all in one day last week, but that's the thing is they're all such easy watches because they're all so enjoyable. But man, I really want to watch Scream 1 again.
Bro, I'm telling you, they just tied everything in so well with that too. Did we all really think that they were gonna sit there and tie every killer into this movie except for a couple? And this is what I'm gonna bring up about there being a separate cult. You know what I mean? And stuff like that outside of the family and stuff. We didn't get to see Mickey's mask get used. I'm gonna say Amber's mask didn't get used.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple masks out there that didn't get used. And I kind of find it ironic that the scene that I'm talking about with Chad, those are two different masks than the mask that the family was wearing.
Yeah.
My thing is this: why? I mean, if you're tying every killer into this, to this story, right?
Yeah.
Why not include Amber or Mickey? Mickey, if anybody his mask should have been featured. He was a killer in part 2.
Yeah. And where's the mom to this Richie's family?
That's a really good question. I thought the same thing. I thought the same. I mean, maybe she dipped, you know what I mean? Because she couldn't. I mean, I will say this. I thought, the job Demont did at the end explaining the whole Richie shrine and everything, I thought that was masterful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he tied everything in. He basically helped Richie build that. So he basically bought that evidence out and whatever and stuff like that. And I thought that was another great thing that they clued us in as well by Gail saying that police like money and a lot of evidence gets lost.
Yep.
And I thought that that was really masterful how he did explain, like, I helped Richie build this. You know what I mean? Like, he loved these movies. It's a little dark for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he loved them. Maybe Richie's obsession with Stab was too dark for her. Or holy
What?
shit, I just thought about this. The movie that was on the projector was Richie's.
Yeah.
What if that was him killing his mom?
Dude, that would have been wild.
Holy shit.
That would have been really dark and really wild. I kept thinking that like Stu, like maybe Richie looked up to Stu, like it was his mentor. You know, like Stu took him under his wing and like got him into film.
It's not impossible. I mean, we still kind of did get hints of I want to say hints, but we did kind of get a piece of social media with the whole Reddit thing, like we did in 5, with Liana's character creating the social media post about Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of ties in with the whole Reddit thing with, you know, Richie and what's her name? Amber.
Yeah.
Like, man, this movie, it's a roller coaster.
Dominic said, "How come the dad told Sam that Kirby is not FBI at the last minute
To
to
throw,
throw
off.
him off?" Yeah.
Either that or he was telling the truth.
Yeah, he could have been telling the truth. He could have been
No.
telling the truth. Like it could have been both ways, you know.
Because my thing is this.
He could have realized, oh shit, there's another Ghostface. She's on to me and I'm on to her.
Right. Because this is
Yeah.
another thing. Usually when an FBI, you know, agent gets injured in the field, their official comes to check on them.
Yeah.
We ain't see no officials come for Kirby, so
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to know who the hell called her in that office.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that. I was like, man, like that's why how I feel like her character is like forced into this. I'm like, this doesn't feel legit. You know, just a little bit. Like it just kind of feels shoehorned in. I'm glad to
Right.
see her back. She's beautiful. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
you know I just
Yeah, but it just
felt
it-
off.
like you
Something
said-
didn't click.
no, it didn't. You know what I mean? And I think what they tried to do was make her look like a massive red herring while still being the same Kirby we
Yeah.
knew and loved, and it just don't work. I'm about to say it doesn't work the way West did it.
Yeah.
West did it properly in Scream 4 because he made her so likable that you didn't want to think about her as a killer, even if the signs are there.
Yeah.
You know, in this one, they tried the same thing, but it's like you made her look way more guilty than innocent, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like because my thing is like, where did she go? Like where did she go?
Yeah, I didn't understand. Like, why is everybody still separating right here? Oh, we're gonna trap him right here. Like, where's this other entrance to this
Right.
place? Where is this other exit or entrance to this place?
And then, holy shit. Okay. So this kind of lines up with my whole theory that there wasn't that like the killers who stabbed Chad weren't the brother and the sister. Chad smacks Ghostface in the face with that camera. And that's a pretty fucking heavy camera. That would leave a mark.
Mm-hmm. You think it was Kirby?
None of them other two had marks on them. They looked clean as a whistle. And if the masks are different, I mean,
Dang, man.
and then she said, "Oh, he knocked me out." You know what I mean? Well, what would knock you out for a couple seconds or whatever? A fucking big ass camera to the dome.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh man, like I don't know. I mean, again, I could be wrong. You know what I mean? But I just feel like a lot of the stuff that they did I think they set the table and teased that what we're going to get in 7, we're going to get that Colt. You know what I mean? And I think that they planted the seeds in this one. Is you really just got to kind of pay attention and catch it, especially in that Chad scene, man. Like, again, I'm going to blow it up even more to just try to make sure I'm accurate, but I'm all but 100% sure those killers who stabbed Chad, those masks were too clean.
Kevin Williams makes a good point. Man, Ethan and Quinn should have done a bunch of double kills, turn it up a notch. I would like to see some more double kills of
That was
2
sick.
ghost faces. Yeah, I would like to see that more done, and like maybe that's how Gail gets taken out, because 1 ghost face can't take her out, but 2 can catch her off guard. You know, like, good point, Kevin.
Yeah, that is a hell of a point. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, look who's in the house. Jamie Hart's in the house. You guys still talking about Scream? Absolutely. The day we die.
That's right.
What's up, Jamie? I don't even know if you're still in here, but I mean, this was at 12:30. So yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Man, she's a trooper. I got to see her full reaction on Scream 5. She watched it on the Scream-a-thon last week. So
Nice.
that was a lot of fun. So Dominic says they need to do some Saw flashback. Yeah, I agree. I think some flashbacks would be beneficial for sure. If they do bring back Stu, you gotta do them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta fucking do something
Yeah.
more than just talk,
Absolutely.
you know, and it can't be brushed over. I want that climax to last for 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Like, let's live here for a while. I don't want it
Right.
to feel rushed. That's
Right,
what it felt like in
it's just like 96. That's what made 96's climax so perfect, is because it didn't feel dragged, but it went on for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, it was perfect.
Yeah. Because like I mean, that movie's pretty much 2 parts. You got the opening scene, but then you got the build up of introducing all the characters, maybe
Right.
Sydney's attack, but like at the hour mark, the 50 mark or whatever, the second half of the movie is the entire Stu Macher house.
Yep.
That's what's cool about it. You know, I wouldn't mind a movie. I wouldn't mind making a movie, because I've always wanted to make like a really good slasher. You know, I wouldn't mind making a movie similar to, like, what's that movie, Can't Hardly Wait, where the characters are all introduced at the very beginning and they're all heading to a party, to like some bit. Have you ever seen Can't Hardly Wait? Jennifer Love Hewitt or any? Not
No.
ringing a bell? Man,
No.
the whole entire movie's a party from
Oh.
beginning to end. Really cool. Great comedy. But if it's something like that, the entire movie's a party, like Stu Macher's house,
Right.
and there's a killer or killers, like, I think that would be really freaking cool.
I wouldn't mind that.
Just like no, that's not the climax. That's not the aftermath. The entire movie is this.
Right. This is it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Something real quick is that Brandon said in the chat or whatever. He said, "Why would the family defend Richie if he did that, or whatever?"
I'm looking for it. I'm looking
yeah,
for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, me personally, I mean, it's just still family.
Yeah.
You know, but it is something, and I'm kind of glad Brandon did ask that question, because I don't know if you caught this, you know, when Jason gets killed and Jason says, you know, what about finishing Richie's movie? And then the killer says, fuck the movie, or whatever. Who gives a fuck about the movie?
Yeah.
I found that very interesting, because the entire premise of the family themselves was not just revenge, but was finishing Richie's movie.
Yeah.
So why would you say that line if that was part of the family? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I
they're
don't
saying
know.
that no one gives a fuck about the movies. Like, this one, I guess this one really wasn't just based on the movies. This was just like straight up revenge.
Right. I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. Man, a lot of good points tonight, man.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. Bro, this movie, again, like, it's a roller coaster. They do such a good job at.
Oh, look who's in the chat.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
What's up, Brandon? What's up, buddy? I saw your review, man. Man, you really loved it, man. Like I'm so glad. He had a very, very good review. If you're not subscribed to
I
Alex
gotta
here,
check
do
it out.
yourself a favor and subscribe to him. He's got fantastic content over there, and his review is gold.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's good. I was watching it earlier today. But man, yeah, Ryan Richardson's in the house. Hell yeah. Man, I can't believe we're almost 3 hours into it, man. We're like over 1 o'clock. What time is it there? 2?
2. Yeah, 2:06.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock here. I could go a little bit longer, but I gotta call it quits somewhere. I've been trying to like catch up on the chat. But man, if I don't get to bed soon, tomorrow I'm not gonna.
Yeah, bro, you
enjoy
gotta
that
get
movie.
that rest, man.
Yeah, and tomorrow's actually my daughter's first day on the job, so I have to like drive her there and everything. So you know, Dad's
Yeah,
got to
man.
get his rest.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother. So rest is always needed, especially when you work your ass off.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like the older you get, you're gonna appreciate sleep more.
Oh hell yes!
I remember back in the day, man. I could stay up all night. I could go to the bars. I could
Yup.
hang out. I could go watch movies all night long, not get any
Yup.
sleep, and then go to work at 6:30 a.m.
Yep.
Like, nope, not anymore.
Nope. Fuck all that, man.
Yeah.
I used to be the same exact way. I used to be an insomniac. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to go to the casino, or I want to hang out at the movies, or whatever, this and that, all night. You don't go to sleep till 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Now I'm just like, man, look, it's about 10 o'clock.
Yep.
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yep.
Like,
And I worked overnight for years too, so that kind of helped. That like messed up my schedule a little bit. But now I'm like, I've adjusted officially, and I'm like, no, dude, I can never. I can't do it anymore. Not anymore. I could stay up like this, man. I love doing the streams and
Oh,
hanging
hell
out with
yeah.
y'all. And man, this is really the way to do it. It's I'd rather hang out with all of y'all than hang out with strangers at a bar. Really.
Yeah.
Honestly. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah. I feel the same way.
And ever since I moved to Dallas, it's just kind of like I don't really have any of my regular friends that I used to run with, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah. So I got like 1 or 2 here, but it's not like we hang out all the time.
Right.
But yeah, anyways. Man, dude, thank you so much for coming on the stream, man. But
Of course,
I think
buddy. Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad I checked my Instagram. Something just told me. I was like, man, let me check my Instagram or whatever when I got out of the theater, and I see your messages, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is happening.
Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, man, I'm just gonna like shoot it out there. If he wants to join, go ahead. I just want to get somebody else's thoughts because I haven't really been able to talk to anybody live about this really at all. And I thought Bearded was gonna come on. I saw him in the chat earlier. I sent him the link, but I don't know. I mean, we're all busy, you know. We all got stuff going on, and we're gonna be talking about this movie every day until Scream 7 comes out.
Literally, like, it's crazy because there is so much to unpack from this movie. Like, if people thought that we were doing enough videos and stuff leading into the film, wait till we get done breaking down this entire film in its entirety. It's like we're gonna have so much content, you know, out there to talk about and all that stuff. This movie,
because think about it,
pack a lunch.
Yeah, because think about it, like Halloween was the buzz for the last year, and there's only so many theories you can really do with that. With Scream, it's endless.
It is, because it could be anybody.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I need a redo. I need my Michael Myers back. I need some more of that. Or I need Jason.
we need.
I need Freddy.
Myers
I really
after
need
that last
Freddy.
debacle.
I need Freddy back, man. I want to
Bro.
see Freddy back and done right with Robert, Heather, and passing of the torch, kind of like how they did the Candyman remake.
Right.
Like, I want to see something like that.
I'm glad you brought that up because tomorrow I'm going to shoot a message out to the Horror Show YouTube channel. Those are the guys who are doing the Freddy fan film with Dave McRae and stuff, and try to see when we
Oh,
can,
yeah.
try to see when we can book that interview and stuff. But when the movie comes out, whenever they announce the release, if of course, if we're both not busy and it lines up, maybe the night of the release, you can come on my channel and we'll watch it. Do a watch party and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. I'm ready to like hit another franchise. Like after we
know.
get done with our Scream thing, I'm ready to hit another franchise and like do one to the end. And,
Right.
And speculate, man, because I want to revisit.
Bro, we're not going to have too much long before we're talking about Saw.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's this year. God
Yep.
bless.
They got Shawnee
Yeah.
back. Apparently, Costas is supposed to be coming back. Like,
Who?
Costas Mandalore. Hoffman.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
That's my boy.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll
It's gonna
we'll
be
do
fun,
some
man.
Saw shit, man. Some
Oh,
Saw
absolutely, man. Absolutely. We got bro, we got so much shit coming out. We got the Crystal Lake TV series. You know what I mean? We got Saw, we got Evil Dead Rise. Nicolas Cage has got a plethora of suspense horror stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's gonna be a great year. Like horror's back. Like
Horror. Our horror is back.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
And Scream just reignited that fire. And Scream was always like a joke back in the day, and it was really just ahead of its time. It was smarter than the average movie goer. And now it's kind of like it's playing games with us. It's making us feel dumb.
Right.
Like it's kind of poking fun at us a little bit. So like I love it, man. I love it.
I do
And
too.
I want more of it.
Oh, absolutely. I want to ask you this before we head out.
Sure.
Do you think that with Scream 7 being shot later this year, we are going to get a release for next year, or they're going to wait until 2025?
I think we're gonna get it next year.
I do too.
If they're filming this year, we're getting it next year.
I believe so as well.
Yeah. Honestly, man, dude, look at it. Jenna Ortega is in talks to be in Beetlejuice 2 right now. Yeah. Michael Keaton, Jenna Ortega, they're in talks right now. And it's been said that Marvel and Disney has approached her for a Marvel property, like a superhero cast or whatever role. Dude, depending on what type of contract she is under for these Scream films, I don't think it's like a 3-movie contract. I think it's 1-to-1, because they're wondering like, okay, how good is this one going to do? Then we'll do the next one. And how good is this one going to do? Because they're uncertain a little bit. But now that it's this one, they're going to be like, we got to fast track this if we want to get Jenna in this, because she's got to move on.
I mean, they could make the argument, they kind of teased she might not be in 7 and 6 when she said to Samantha, that she's tired of, when she's going to have a normal life. She's tired of being a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they could write her out like that, like they do Sydney.
Right. She could sit there and just be like, look, I want to move on with my life. Like, I'm going to have you in my life, but I need to be away from you because,
Yeah.
And stuff like, and everything. So that could happen. Like, I hope not. I would love to see Jenna be in 7, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when we get there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I don't think we're going to wait too long, man. I really don't. I think it's going to be fast tracked, especially after this weekend. We'll know the numbers by the end of the weekend, but it's like, was it like 45 million? It's projected to make. Yeah. So I think it's going to make more than 45, honestly.
Yep.
Just
It's
knowing
bad.
everything that's going on. And I've been hearing that theaters are packed.
I will say I was shocked that it wasn't that packed in my theater tonight. But
It
then,
wasn't packed in mine, but there are several
okay,
showings, and the theater that I do go to near my house is like, it's kind of like the way to get to it. It's like the AMC theater. It's like facing like the mall, so you got to like walk a little ways. It's not like it's facing like a parking lot. Like
okay,
it's kind of hidden. Yeah. So it's kind of like a touristy spot. So it's not like a typical place that I think like would be crowded. But I don't know. We'll see, man. But this is going to be the end of the stream. Any last thoughts? You think how okay, one last question. We're going to wrap it up here. We're at 3 hours. How do you think Scream 7 is going to mirror Scream 3? And or do you think it will? And if it does, how do you think?
I think they're gonna. I think what they're planning to do, and I'm full on board with this. I think they're definitely gonna try to add the cult, storyline to it, but they could also mesh with the backstory, like a crazy backstory that Scream 3 had. Like, I think that's what they could try to do. Mesh this whole cult thing with also this crazy backstory that will mirror Scream 3. Maybe something in Samantha's past about a relative or something that we did not know about.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, you know how I feel. I don't even know if and believe if this woman Christina is a real mother. So, we don't know what's in those diaries. We don't know what else. You know what I mean? And Samantha actually did read multiple diaries because she used diaries plural in Scream 5.
Yeah.
So we know she read multiple. What else is in them? That's what
Yeah.
I want to see explored. I want all these skeletons to come out of the closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. And I think there's like 3 different scenarios that they could go with 7. One, they could pick up exactly where this one leaves off.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney Cox being in the hospital, they're all headed that way, whatever. Could pick up exactly where it leaves off. 2, they could return to Woodsboro just because they went all the way across the country and they still weren't safe. So why not be in Woodsboro with people that they love and they know,
Right.
their family or whatever? And I think we might get introduced to the mother and whoever at that point. Or 3, and also I think that like maybe there might be a stab movie being filmed. Like there might be some sort of like studio thing going on in Woodsboro, or we could be going back to Hollywood. I don't know.
It's funny
But-
you brought that up about Hollywood
Yeah,
because that actually might happen. And the reason why I think it actually might happen now is because they may have denied the rights for the movie this time around. There's no way they're going to deny it this time.
yeah,
The money's there. If you know what I mean? Like the money is there.
right,
So
right.
that's a good point you just brought up. They could be going to Hollywood.
Yeah, it could be
And-
Hollywood, or Hollywood could be coming to Woodsboro,
That's true.
filming it in Woodsboro at the actual locations of where the kills took place.
Ooh.
Casey Becker's house,
Right.
Stu Macher's house, the high school.
Right, because that's what Stab 3 was supposed to be, Return to Woodsboro.
Yeah, what if they really do return to Woodsboro? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, so you got the best of both worlds. You got the movie studio stuff, and you got Woodsboro right here.
Right. And it's crazy because you can, in both scenarios, in LA or Woodsboro, you could get Sydney back both of those locations because those are the 2 most important locations of her life. Because Woodsboro's her hometown where everything began, and Hollywood was where everything in terms of the Roman and Marine storyline ended. You know what I mean? So you can do both. You can bring her back to both settings.
Yeah, yeah. And my last scenario that I think there's a possibility is that after the opening kill, whether it be Gail Weathers or any other character, whatever, whenever they realize that Ghostface is back, Chad could be like, no, we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. And they just like take a flight to the Bahamas or Hawaii or Paris, or we go somewhere something tropical or exotic, you know, just I think that they could do something like that. Like I think they would just be like, nope, we're gonna leave this time. We're not fucking around.
Right.
But it might also be a setup. And I said it earlier. I don't know if you were on the stream or not, but like, wouldn't it be crazy if they did something similar to like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer? And it was like a setup, Ghostface kind of like, you know how like the whole setup like 103.9. Yes. What is the capital to Brazil? But it's like Ghostface style. It might not be something exactly that, but they might win something, but it's really a setup. And no one knows where Sydney's at. And when they take this flight and when someone gets killed in Woodsboro or whatever, they're like, no, we're just going to leave. We're just going to go on a trip. And when they get there, Sydney's there too. So it's all a setup.
Yeah, it's all set up. I like that.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I really get to thinking about this. I'm like, man, I want to write a Scream movie. I want to live in that world.
Yeah, man.
Anyways,
real quick before we end, the funny thing is you brought up about I Know What You Did Last Summer is what's her name? Samara's death scene mirrored that a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Like Michelle Gellar.
Yes.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah.
With the the noise and everything, and then getting killed by the back and forth.
I said that last night. I was like, man, it was very. I know what you did
last summer. Yep. I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I
liked the line by Jason too. Now I see red. And I'm just like, yeah, that was.
And it splatters on the mask.
Yep. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yep, that was super awesome, man.
Yeah, it was.
Hell yeah. Hey guys, everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out tonight on Destination Station for some Scream spoiler talk. Had a really great night. We had a really good conversation tonight, and thank you, Marcus, for coming on the channel. And if you're not subscribed to Marcus, do yourself a favor, head over to his channel. He has amazing content, amazing live streams. They're super fun. He just had a glow in the dark Scream party, Scream trivia, super awesome. I was a little late there, but I wish I was there from the beginning. But nonetheless, he has some really great ideas. If you like my channel, if you like my theories, you're gonna love his channel. I'm telling you, Marcus is the shit in a good way.
I appreciate it, my friend. Always appreciate the love and support. Honestly, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude. Okay, man. Like, we'll talk more in the future or in the next couple of days or so. But like I want to do a whodunit live stream with a bunch of us content creators.
Let's do it.
Like Ghostface style. We don't know who is among us, and if we get it wrong, and it's up for the chat to figure out who is the killer. So
that would be
a murder
tight.
mystery live stream. Yeah,
I'm all about it. Yeah,
We'll bounce some ideas around, and we'll start that shit up, man.
Hell yeah.
We'll get everybody involved. All right, man. Love you guys. Destination Station. We'll see you later, and we'll be right back.
I'll be right back.